Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Case by Case. I'm Amy. Tonight we are discussing part 6 of Ashley Garth's case. If you're in the chat, oh, she needs to grab chocolate. Karen Hall needs to grab chocolate, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was a little bit distracted. I had a obnoxious Yorkie going crazy in the background. And I was in a Delphi chat room trying to compose myself. So yeah, here we are. Tonight we're going to get into more of Ashley's case. I've got Cherie. Welcome, Cherie. And I have Streets of Bakerfield with me.
Hello.
Hello.
So if you guys scroll up to the top of the chat, I just have to say this. I have to give that's why I don't have my camera on. I literally lost all my makeup. So Tom Webster, if you guys know who he is, he's a creator and he does do some Delphi coverage, but he posted a video today, I think with maybe his sister. It's a sibling. That's all I know. But it was them cooking a chicken that they put over top of a beer can. I was dying laughing. It is the funniest thing ever. I posted the link at the top of the chat. You have to go watch it. I love Tom Webster. He does great research. He's a natural. I love him. So I lost all my makeup. I didn't have time to put it back on. Sorry.
Oh, that I thought you meant like you lost your makeup bag, and I was thinking, shit, that's expensive.
No, I was in complete tears. Like I think it's his sister. And she's like, Tom, do you not have a good knife here? And he was like, wait a minute. I think I have one in my bedroom. And he goes to his bedroom and he comes out with this big like butcher knife and it's like super sharp. And she's like, what? And it's a great video. It's funny. That's why I posted it. Love Tom Webster. So I was dying laughing in tears and lost all my makeup and then have been working all day on this computer. It's been a rainy day here and we've been trapped inside. So, how's everybody doing tonight?
I've been cleaning all day. I built a desk. It took me 4.5 hours.
Oh God, I hate things that require instructions.
Oh my God. And it was just pictures. And they're like, put the screws. There's like 5 different types of screws. They all look the same, but they're labeled A, B, C, D, E, and you have to figure it out on your own. It was horrible.
Yep, that's when I'm like, okay, Facebook Marketplace, who is a handyman?
Dude, I have a whole entire boyfriend, but he's just not handy. I mean, he was a firefighter, he was a paramedic, so he's handy in some areas, but engineer, he is not.
Mine's not either. He's like, wait, what? You want me to? No, we're not putting this together. We're going to call somebody. Cherie, how was your Sunday?
Pretty good. We had freezing rain this morning, so that wasn't so good, but now it's warmed up and melted, so pretty good.
Yeah, Kathy says share. Kathy in chat says share the chocolate. Karen, you have to share. You have to share it. Yeah, we're supposed to get a really bad storm tonight. I don't know if it will happen, but my golden retriever thought we were getting a storm last night, and about 2:00 in the morning, he had a panic attack, and I had to bring him upstairs. So
It's sunny and 72 here in California.
okay, Bobcat, you're going to have to pass on your information and get some flights because girls need handymen.
Can you
Welcome
build a
into
desk?
yeah.
Can you hang sconces evenly?
Well, Lady D, you are lucky if it's nice and sunny in Virginia because it's not nice and pretty here. Yesterday it was supposed to be halfway decent. I'm in Ohio, so I have kind of like all 4 seasons, but they all kind of like blend together. So you can have winter in spring, and you can have winter in fall, and you can have spring and summer. So I can't really, um, I wouldn't trade it for anything because I love all four seasons, but you just never know. And the weatherman here, I don't care what channel you watch, they have no idea what they're talking about.
That's one of the cool things about California is all of our stuff comes off the ocean, so we see it coming way before it gets here. So we don't have like that pop of rain like you guys have in the Midwest. We know it's coming.
Yeah, they talk about it for 2 or 3 days beforehand, and they tell us, what our weekend's going to be like. So we plan accordingly. And then when the weekend gets here, we're like, what?
Yeah.
Nothing is what you said. So, hey, Deb. Hey, Keith. Hey, Karen. Hey, Lady D. Oh, my goodness sakes. So, hey, Tracy. Hey, Donna. Before we go into tonight's topic, do either one of you have anything to talk like you want to add about last night's live? I actually invited Ghost to come on tonight. I don't know if he will. I don't know what his work schedule is either. But tonight I went back through last week's live. We did a 5-hour live last week on Ashley's case. And I think I'm going to be able to pick up tonight where we left off and go right into Thursday, March 28th, the day that everything happened. And then we're going to go into Garrett's interrogation video. So before we do all of that, do either of you have anything to discuss tonight?
I think Ghost was awesome. I was very glad to have him last night.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to find out what that trapdoor in the roof is for.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different things and perspectives, like, him being a local and having the insight to this. I just can't imagine a case like this being in my backyard. I really just could not. I would be bonkers. I think I would be bonkers. And at the same time, I feel like the community there is forever traumatized. I mean, I'll say this, when you, and Cherie, you can give your own perspective, but I've been to Delphi several times, and I've been to Newton County, where the case that we're talking about tonight took place. And it's so quaint. That is the only word that I can use to describe the area. It's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful landscape. It's a beautiful drive. And then when you are on this side looking at the things that go on in that area, you're just very much like, wow, how? Because it's just such a beautiful place. Cherie, what do you think?
No, I agree 100%. It's really a lot like where I live, except it's flatter and a lot more farming. But it is beautiful and, like you said, quaint.
It's very quaint and it's very homey. The whole area. I mean, even areas that bad things happened in. When you go there, if you were unknowing, you would be like, "Oh my God, this place is so pretty."
Because
Well,
because you know what happened there, does it feel like Children of the Corn though?
no, it doesn't. It feels heavy, like you want to say why. Like it's a very family oriented area. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. Hi, Toby. Toby's in the house tonight, guys. Toby is Ashley's dad. But no, you don't feel that way at all. You feel like
No,
it makes your heart hurt. It really does. Like when you go out like when we travel out towards like Newton County, and I remember the very first time I went out there, like seeing the courthouse where Ashley's trial was held, I was like, this is a very beautiful building. And then I think of Ashley and I go, oh my God, like this took place here. And there's so many dark things involved, but it's a beautiful place. I don't care where, I don't care. I don't think I've ever seen an ugly part of Indiana, to be honest. And I live one state over, and there's a lot of ugly parts in Ohio. But just driving into Indiana, I'm just, I have hours of video of just the landscape.
I have a contract coming up in Indiana for a year in outside of Battleground, so I'll be able
Mm.
to be a part of this. But like, I'm a little nervous. I'm
No,
dying
I
to
mean,
be carrying a gun.
yeah, we're making a trip. Deb just posted in the chat that she said, I'm still stewing over the interview with Slick Nick. The mods deleted every single comment that didn't fit their narrative. So biased, just like the judge and jury. I haven't even watched it. I don't want to watch it. It makes me angry. I just can't bring myself to watch
Yeah,
it.
big time.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch it. Just like tonight, like I have a really hard time. I'm not, I guess, like tonight when we go over Garrett's interrogation, and I'm going to apologize in advance because I am sure I'm going to interrupt this interrogation an insurmountable amount of times because I get so angry at the lies. And I get so angry at the things that I know to be true, and nobody else took the time. When you've got someone's life in your hands, whether it be this person is guilty or this person is innocent, it should be handled with care gloves.
You should have more integrity than everybody else in the room when you have people's lives in your hand.
Yeah.
I say
And
that to my safety team at work all the time. Like, you guys can suspend people. You have control of their paycheck. You need to have more integrity than everyone else on this field.
yeah. And I just feel like, people should be held accountable. And I understand everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does. But in a situation like this where you have a public defender who is getting paid a salary, whether she wins or loses, she should be held accountable to do her job. And if down the road, I mean, this is just me personally speaking based on who I am. If my job took the freedom and the rights of another away, and I found out down the road I screwed up, I would do all of the unraveling I could do to fix that. And that's the one thing about our justice system that I don't understand. That it should not be a year-long process to take someone's life and rights away. And then 3 to 6 months later, you find out there was a mistake. It shouldn't take 10 years for the real truth to come out. There should be a whole, I think for our justice system, there should be a whole separate way that we handle cases where, and I understand that there's probably a lot of frivolous, appeals and things like that. But when you're dealing with DNA or you're dealing with cases complex, something like this, where you've got actual proof of an attorney who didn't fully do her job, and a small town case where nobody was really paying attention, and all they were wanting was to say there was a conviction. I think it deserves a second look, and that second look shouldn't take years. And you can't be a part of this system and a part of this fight if you're not willing to fight the fight. That's how I see it, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I am all for guilty people staying behind bars, 1,000,000%. But it's the individuals, 1 in 5,000, 1 in 8,000 who are innocent that no one's paying attention to, that I feel deserves that second look. And it's not in our country, in our justice system, it's not a situation where you can raise a red flag and say, okay, wait a minute, something's not adding up here, and it gets looked at. You have to push it. You have to push it for a long time, and you've got to go through all of the levels and all of the channels and all through the court system and all of the delays to get your voice heard. And unfortunately, the people behind bars, their voice is silenced. So that's just my take on it. Maybe I'm a little bit dramatic.
It's so hard when I was only in a county lockup for a very short period of time. And in that very short period of time, I was like, this is some bullshit. Like the way that they treat criminals and the morality clauses and the way like these red states, these red counties that don't charge, or it's a religious belief not to collect taxes. They have to make money somehow, and you figure out they're making it off their court system, and it's like 15, like they charge inmates $15 for an ibuprofen. Like what? Like, and then you get out of jail, you get everything done, and then the jail presents you a bill. Oh, this is what you used while you were in the jail. It's the private prison system, and it's just gross. Bob Barker, I don't if you've ever been in jail in the Midwest, you know how much people should hate Bob Barker. It's on everything. If it's on your prison tray, it's on your spoon, it's on your shower shoes, it's on your shower soap, it's on your clothes. Bob Barker's name is everywhere. I don't know what interest he has in the private prison industry, but everything you have has Bob Barker's name on it. Your
The
shower
Bob
shoe.
Barker.
I don't know if it's the Bob Barker. All I know is that when I went to county jail in Oklahoma, they give you a cup and a spork when you go in. That says Bob Barker on it. They give you shower shoes. Those say Bob Barker on it. Your uniform says Bob Barker on it. Your underwear says Bob Barker on it. Everything says Bob Barker on it. I don't know if it's the Bob Barker, but I was just like, I'll never watch The Price is Right ever again. Fuck that guy. I don't want to hear that
I just
motherfucker's name
I just
again.
wonder, for him to have his name tagged on things like that, I'm assuming he's sitting on the board of trustees and he's benefiting. Well, I'm sure he donated. I'm sure he was some sort of a donation to the system in that state or that county for whatever reason. With, some French benefits on the back end. That's usually how it works.
I think he probably owns a company that makes money off the private prison industry, and that's disgusting.
Well, you know what, Deb? When you're in prison, you don't have a choice. Like there's
Yeah, they just give it to you.
yeah, you don't really have a choice. And I think I don't know, that's a whole nother topic. That's not what we're here for. I
Sorry.
have no. I know, no. I mean, that is why we're here, but that particular avenue of what's wrong with our justice system and what's wrong with the prison system is, it's up for debate. It's up for those who truly believe that, prison should be the most horrible place in the world. Yet you're combining people who have made a first time mistake in their life, who are capable of being rehabilitated and let back out and to live a productive life versus someone who's not. You're commingling those two life tracks.
Yeah.
And you're treating them both the same. And that's where I feel the prison reform needs to come in. And that's, like I said, that's for a whole nother avenue.
I got a ticket for serving a minor, and my bunkie was a chick who was like selling child pornography of her own kids. Like it was just like, wait, what? Why am I in here with her? Yeah.
Yeah, there's no discrimination in there. So, all right, let's get into it. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Welcome. I usually don't go one by one and call out everybody's names, just because I know that people like to get on here and get to the good stuff, and that's what I try to do. Remember the 2-strike rule. Be polite, be respective. The 2-strike rule consists of, if you are crappy, you get timed out for 2 minutes. If you come back in and you do it again, you're gone for the night. So my mods handle that. We're all adults here. We're all having, we're all capable of sharing our own opinions and debating without being disrespectful or rude. So just remember that. Lady D says, Amy, in my opinion, jury forms should be changed to G and G and not proven. Some people think the state didn't prove their case, but still believe they are guilty. So vote that way. Thoughts? I'm going to put your comment up on the screen. It says, Amy, in my opinion, jury form should be changed to guilty, and not proven. Some people think the state didn't prove their case, but still believe they are guilty. So vote that way. Thoughts? I mean, I don't have you know what, that's kind of a good option, adding the not proven, which hung jury is pretty much the same thing. If there is a hung jury, the defendant is not getting off scot-free. They're still being held, and they have to go through the process again. Not proven would probably result in the same thing. Not proven beyond a reasonable doubt. I think that is a scale of perception. I think, if you're sitting on a jury and your common sense or your gut is telling you that this person is absolutely guilty, there's nothing else, that is a situation where you have to respect the jury's decision. However, before the case even gets to the jury is where the issues come in, where you have a case put before a jury. And, when you have a jury that you're seating who you want to be completely impartial, completely unbiased, and not aware of the case at hand, you have to present the true facets of the case. You don't get to present a one-sided ordeal and not give them the big picture. And in the case that we're talking about tonight, the big picture, the overall effect, the real deal was not presented. And I feel the same way in the Delphi case. Let the cookie crumble. Put all your cards on the table and let the jury decide. And I personally feel that jury instructions should explain the fact that if you cannot come to a decision and you are a hung jury, they should be informed that their undecided opinion does not set a guilty person free. It only obligates the state and the defense to start over. I think that's a fair way to look at it. Again, that's just my opinion. A hung jury, depending on where you are, is hard to get. It's hard to get when you have a judge who is pushing for a verdict because they don't want to retry the case. The state or the public defender doesn't want to go through the process again. At the end of the day, it's not about the state. It's not about the judge. It's not about the prosecutor. Or the defense. It's about the victim and it's about the defendant. And the justice system has to work. It should work. So, okay, guys, let's get into it. So last live, we finished pretty much on, now I've lost my train of thought. I went back and listened even. We were talking about Mikey Hiddle. For those of you who were in the chat, put a 1 in there if you know this case or you watched last week's live. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you're clueless and you just need a little bit of a recap.
I remember you talking about Josh Henderson. Is it Henderson, the one who?
Yeah, we played Josh's. Everybody's putting a 1 in. Okay, Josh. We listened to Josh's interview where Josh. Let's get into it. Yeah, should be on a T-shirt. You're right, Karen. Yeah, we went through Josh's interview. Lady D says a little recap. I know some, but missed last week. Most people are saying 1. So for Lady D, last week we did a 5-hour live. It wasn't all 5 hours were not specific to Ashley's case. We kind of talked about some other things as well, but we talked about Garrett. And I do want to point this out because this came in last night. And that's the good thing about continuously going back and rehashing this case. So Garrett, on March 25th, Garrett had attacked Ashley and put her in the hospital. And at the hospital, for whatever reason, Ashley let Garrett do all the talking. And he told the hospital that she had been in an ATV accident. Well, last night, our guest, Ghost, we were talking about an incident that happened back in late 2015, early 2016, where Garrett had attacked her and had broken her arm. And Ghost, being a friend of Garrett's, was discussing how everybody was questioning him, like not only did she have a black arm, but she also had a black eye. And Garrett's excuse, even back then, was she was in an ATV accident. So I thought that was kind of telling. It's kind of a trait that apparently Garrett has of kind of using the same excuse time and time again. And Ashley, while she was in the White County Hospital on March 25th, did not feel she had the ability to speak up and say, he's lying, he beat me up. And for those of you who are listening, we are awaiting permission from the prison for Ashley to be able to come on and do some interviews. And you'll get to hear from herself or hear from her, her experience and her take on everything beforehand and during and after. So I'm looking really forward to that because nobody out there has heard Ashley's voice, heard her version of events other than through me or through the transcripts of her case in the trial or through social media. So
I send her money all the time, and I just heard her voice for the first time last night.
yeah. And everybody, I think, is going to learn a lot about her, and you'll get a feel for the kind of person that she is, and that is the whole point of doing this. So anywho, so last week we went over Garrett attacking Ashley, and this was well after the fact that Ray Hanish's body had been found. Garrett and Nicole were arrested in Ray's car. So that brings us to Josh's interview that we played. Josh was a friend of Ashley's who Ashley called to pick her up from the hospital, which he did. And he describes the interaction that day. Toby Garth said, I guarantee she will cry. I've been saying that, she will cry. She will cry 100%. Ashley will cry. Ashley's very emotional.
She has every right to cry.
She's very emotional. She's very tenderhearted. And Ashley's holding up very well. Gosh, there's so much. And I hate to get sidetracked, but I feel like these things are important. So she, in the past couple of weeks, she has been attending these conferences that the prison has offered from different colleges. They're called panel discussions. And she had to attend so many hours before she was allowed to speak. And last week, or actually just this last week, she was able to finally speak in front of a panel of college students who are going to college for criminal justice, psychology, um, what do you call it? Like child protective services. What do you call that? A social worker.
Human
Yeah,
services.
there's a variety of different students that come in from the colleges to learn from these girls and these women that are in prison. So she got to speak in front of a panel and pretty much tell her story, her case, and all of that. And she was very nervous and she was very excited about it. But she said after she got to talking and then people started asking her questions, she got more comfortable. There were a lot of positives that came out of it. So, I mean, anything that gives her strength to continue to fight for herself, she's taking every step toward that direction. So, I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. But anywho, we are at the point where Josh has picked them up. He describes Ashley as looking somewhat beat up, distressed. Garrett gets in the car, sits in the back seat, and at the time, Josh says, he was fully aware of Ashley's ex-boyfriend who was violent. He did not know, however, that the guy that was with Ashley when he picked Ashley up was him. Not until Garrett got in the back seat, branded a knife, and was acting kind of passive aggressive. So if you want to go back and listen, Josh's interview by itself is available on the channel. And then last week's live is also available on the channel. It's 5 hours. And tonight we're going to get into Garrett taking Ashley to Kentland, which is in Newton County, which is about a little over an hour away from Delphi. And he wanted to go there. Now you guys have to, let me put this in perspective. Ashley is not a aggressive person, number one. Number two, I've watched someone go through a relationship where they're dealing with a dominant person, my sister. And I know that typically when you have an aggressive person calling all the shots, the easiest thing for you to do is go, okay. And you don't really say anything. You don't argue, you just go along with the game plan. And Garrett wanted to go to Kentland out in Newton County because he had a buddy out there who was going to finish some tattoos. Now, just remember, Ashley and Garrett had not been around each other for weeks. I have showed in the last 6 weeks of us covering this case, messages from Garrett where he stresses that, well, I hadn't seen Ashley for 3 weeks, forgetting what he testified to in the courtroom. But he beat her up. She gets released from the hospital, and he's there, and he wants to take her out to Kentland. She goes. Biggest mistake of her life. She'll tell you that. Biggest mistake of her life. She'd never been out there, didn't know the girl, Jasmine, who owned the trailer. She didn't know Chris Mathis, who was the guy who supposedly was going to do the tattoos. They get out there, and everybody's high, including Ashley. And she sits on the couch, and she falls asleep. They are rummaging through the trailer, trying to find pieces and parts to Chris Mathis's tattoo equipment for Chris to do Garrett's tattoos. That's how the night went. They didn't get out there until the evening anyway. And in Ashley's mind, it's another night of bullshit of her dealing with Garrett. And she knew that, and I do believe at some point she called her grandma and to come and get her, but her grandma wasn't willing to make that drive. And I've talked to her grandma about that, and her grandma regrets that big time. But no one knew. No one knew what was to come. So this situation on its face value is what it is. He took her out there to this guy's house that she had never met. She was there. They were all high. She was just waiting for him to take her home. So that's where we are right now. Anybody have any questions before we go on? Or anybody, Cherie, do you have anything to add? Streets, do you have anything to add? Or go ahead, Cherie.
I'm slow. That I was thinking, like with grandma feeling bad, and like you said, they didn't know. And I have a child, or he's an adult now, but who was into a lot of stuff, and sometimes you feel like you've got, you can't just, you feel like you're enabling if you jump every time. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it's completely understandable, but I also understand why it bothers her. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's coming out terrible.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm just saying I know how she feels, I guess. Or I think I know.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley. I truly believe, and this is, and I think I think this is going to be one of those moments where I stand firm on this. Is when Garrett took her out to Kitland to get tattoos, no one anticipated what was to come. It was a snowball effect that Garrett himself created with the culpation of Talitha Beckley and maybe Jason Palladino. But I don't think anyone out there thought anything nefarious was going on. And here we are.
I stop to think sometimes about like that day, and like Garrett, he has Nicole, who he's gonna kill. He has Ashley, who has in essence kidnapped, and then he's got Talitha Beckley following him around like a little lost puppy dog, telling him he looks delicious. Like
I think
the all different, like three different women, three totally different like relationships with them all in the same day. Like that must be hard to, like, I don't know.
Well, I think that first of all, leading up to this day, Garrett and Nicole were an item. Garrett had proposed to her. They had posted their engagement on Facebook, either late in February or the beginning of March. They were arrested together on March 14th. And the reason Ashley was brought into the picture was because the Indiana State Police showed up looking for Garrett because they had Ray's car in the impound on the 14th. Ray's body wasn't found until the 17th. That's when law enforcement put two and two together. Okay, these people were in this dead man's car on the 14th. Where are they? So they're on the hunt. That's when Ashley reached out thinking that she was helping law enforcement. Like, I'll see if I can find out where he's at. Garrett knew. Garrett and Nicole knew, or Garrett only knew what he was facing. And when Ashley reached out and said, "What the F? Why are they at my door? What'd you do?" Da 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 da. He ends up showing up being violent like he normally does. That's where this started on a Monday. put her in the hospital. That information, that hospital visit never made it into trial. Garrett being engaged to Nicole never made it into trial. The relationship between Garrett and Nicole never made it into Ashley's trial.
What
The
about
arrest
what
in
about
Ray's car, huh?
what about Talitha and Garrett? Did that come out
No,
of Ash? No.
no, none of that came out in trial. And that's why Garrett's interrogation video was so important, because his interrogation video was the only one that the judge did not allow to be played. And they
That's where he
played
was supposed to be
Ashley's.
playing all these girls against
Well,
each
he's,
other.
he's manipulating everybody. And, you know, and on Ashley's side of the fence, Ashley only knows what she knows. And she only knows what she faced that night when Garrett showed back up. So it wasn't until after Nicole was killed that she learned a little bit about what was going on. But to be honest, a lot of what really transpired, Ashley didn't know until her and I started working together and I started uncovering all of this. And I'm like, are you aware of this? And before we go any further, I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap about that night. Ashley falls asleep on the couch. Garrett and Chris are in search of tools for his tattooing equipment. Ashley falls asleep on the couch. She wakes up the next morning and Chris Mathis is gone. Everyone agrees. Every interrogation video, except for Garrett, everyone explains that Garrett or that Chris Mathis is not there. At some point in time, in the middle of the night or the early morning hours, Chris Mathis leaves. When Ashley wakes up, Jasmine is there, Garrett is there, and this guy that she's never met named Mikey Hiddle. Mikey Hiddle is a friend of Jasmine's. Ashley had no idea what Mikey Hiddle knew about this case after her arrest or during her trial. She didn't know him. She had only seen him briefly that morning and then briefly the next day. She did not know anything that had transpired out of her sight. Mikey Hiddle did a interview a year after Ashley's trial on a YouTube channel called The Criming Shame, where he describes in detail what transpired between him and Garrett during that 24-hour period. And that's when I was like, what? Because Mikey Hiddle was initially on the state's witness list to be a witness for the state. I have spoken to Mikey numerous times. I have a couple of recorded interviews. He does not want them released, therefore I won't release them. But he was never interviewed by Ashley's public defender. And the day that he was subpoenaed to testify, he was sitting in the hallway and the prosecutor came out in the hallway and said, "You're free to go. You're not needed." After I heard his interview on Criming Shame, I was like, no freaking wonder he was let go, because nothing that he had to say really helped the state's case at all. So Mikey Hiddle was called to Jasmine's trailer on the morning of March 28th, which was a Thursday. According to Mikey Hiddle, Jasmine said, "Hey, I have a friend here who needs a ride to go get some stuff." Well, I don't know what verbiage was used, but apparently in the drug world, everybody knew what that meant. And Mikey Hiddle went over to Jasmine's. When Ashley woke up, she said that Mikey Hiddle, Garrett, and Jasmine were in the back bedroom talking. She got up, she came in there, anticipating, "You're taking me home, right?" And they're in a whole nother conversation about Garrett and Mikey leaving to go somewhere. So she's a little bit perturbed, like, okay, what? Okay, I want to go home. Garrett completely is dismissive towards her. In the conversations that I had with Mikey, Mikey describes Ashley as agitated, not happy with the situation. They were arguing. He had never met either one of them. He didn't know them. He didn't know why they were arguing. He only knew that she was unhappy with the situation.
Is there a reason why Garrett just keeps not letting her leave? Because it seems like he was like purposely keeping her there. I mean, if he's going to Delphi, why wouldn't he just give her a ride home?
Well, here's my thoughts on it. And if you take all of the information that we have collectively together, you know, Garrett did not have jack shit without Ashley. Ashley was the worker, she was the vehicle, she was the roof over their heads. When she kicked Garrett out, that's when he went ballistic. He broke in, he choked her, he duct taped her, he tried to strangle her. I mean, he's spiraling out of control. Ashley knows after the strangulation incident that he's really capable of being a lot more than just abusive. And I think that for a lot of women who are in a domestic violence situation, they feel always like their partner has a limit. And I think in January for Ashley, she realized maybe Garrett didn't have a limit. And that scared her. That is why within several weeks, she packed up, started to leave, was going back home, which she did. And then he goes over to Jason Palladino's, the compound, and starts to stay with Nicole. And
And how
that,
did do we know how that came about? Like, did he just show up like it was a tweaker pad, so he like it's a trap house, and so he could be there?
well,
Or
here, let me, for everybody, let me just give everybody a reminder of the compound. And
I'm sorry, I know
no, no,
I'm
no, no,
asking.
no, no, no. That's a great question. No, that's a great question. Because I feel like this is such a complicated case. You need to just go over it and over it and over it for people to understand. And why it's so important that the details matter here, because these were all of the details that were left out of this trial. But
But at the same time, we're trying to like keep track of 5 tweakers over a period of 4 days, and so there's a lot of details. You know what I mean?
right. And so when we get into Garrett's interrogation video, you're going to hear him describe that he's living at his mom's and he's bouncing back and forth between his mom's and his buddies on 600 off of 600. Well, the compound is where he's referring to. It's off of 600. And Garrett also had another friend who lived right in front of the Palladino compound, which was Russell Stout. Excuse me.
Poor
When
Russell
you
Stout is
well
going through it
when
right
you
now.
when you read back through the arrest report of Garrett and Nicole being arrested in Ray's vehicle, Kyle Stout, which is Russell's brother, was in the vehicle as well. So what's happened is, and you'll hear it in the interrogation video, but I'll kind of like splice it out here real quick. Garrett and Nicole met when they were both in work release. So they knew each other a while before. When Garrett and Ashley were having problems, Garrett and Ashley were at a cookout at Russell Stout's house. Nicole Bowen showed up with someone else. And immediately her and Garrett realized, I know you, I know you. And Garrett, and all we can do is read between the lines. Garrett is a liar, but this is his description of the situation. Him and Nicole's kind of like sneak off on the property and exchange numbers. The two of them, over the next couple of days, start sneaking off to the Palladino compound and hooking up. Eventually, at the beginning of January, this is all around the end of December, beginning of January, Ashley kicks Garrett out for a voluminous amount of things. He had beaten her up. He then slashed the tires on her car. He had stolen rent money. She kicks him out. So he heads over to Stout's property and the compound, and that's where him and Nicole are kind of bouncing back and forth. According to Ghost, last night, Garrett was also utilizing Ray Hanish's apartment as a place to go over in Reynolds when he didn't have a place. So Garrett is now in a situation where he's homeless, carless, moneyless, and he's kind of couch surfing in between everyone that he knows.
He's a hobosexual.
Right. And when he realized that Nicole was willing to roll on him, whether it be about the drugs that were in the car when they were arrested in Ray's car, or even be she was at Ray's when Garrett committed that murder. Either way, I think in Garrett's mind, he was done with Nicole. So now he was going to latch back on to Ashley any way that he could. So he takes her out here. In his mind, he's trying to, we're going to hang out. Just shut up and deal, you know. I'm going to run out to Delphi. I'm going to get some drugs. I'm going to come back. We're going to have a good time. Just sit back and relax. She's going, no, I want to go home. This argument is witnessed by Mikey Hiddle. He didn't really know the depths of it, but he just knew that she wasn't happy and she wanted to leave. Garrett tells her, go in the house, get your shit. We're going to run to the gas station. I'll be back. And because Ashley knew if he's going to Delphi to Jason Palladino's house to get meth, he could take her home. Like, the details of all of this are way too much for it to be fabricated. When you listen to her describe the situation, it just simply is. This is her version of events. This is what she was left in the position of being in, is that he was going to go to the gas station. They were going to come right back. She got her bag. She had a backpack that she carried because she was going to cosmetology school. She carried it like a purse. He never came back. She was left without a working phone, without any transportation to get home. She's an hour and a half away. Her grandma was upset that she was even that far away and with Garrett. So grandma didn't want to come and get her. That's where we are. I'm going to show the video really quick of the compound again for everybody who's not seen it. This is Jason Palladino's. That right there, that red building right there is Russell Stout's property. Right behind it, right there, is Jason Palladino's property. Behind that trailer is another trailer. So my video, now look at this drive right here. This drive is important because when you listen to Talitha Beckley's interrogation and you listen to Mikey Hiddle, this is the drive that Garrett, Mikey Hiddle, and Talitha are in Mikey Hiddle's car leaving the compound. They're coming towards me as I'm shooting this video, so to speak. As they're leaving down this drive towards 600, Nicole pulls in. So I turn around. This is me videotaping. I turn around. This is the drive. Passing Russell Stout's house here on the right-hand side. There's a fence. There's a garage. Right there to the right is Jason Palladino's compound. And there's another trailer behind it that is also owned by the Palladinos. This is where Garrett and Mikey Hiddle went that day to pick up meth. Hey, Radar. So that's the property. It's about an hour and 15 minutes away from Kitland, where Ashley was left.
How far away is Reynolds from here?
I'm not, Toby, you're in the chat. Can you decipher? from, because this is considered Monticello. This is not Delphi, which this is literally like right on the outskirts. Yes, Mama Bear, this is the Palladino family that is still a big deal in the area. And they're
I
very low
haven't
key
heard.
nowadays. Yes.
They are very low key nowadays.
River Lady says it's 15, Reynolds is about 15 miles away. So I've turned around in my car. I'm going back towards, so Toby Garth says it's about 30, 40 minutes from Reynolds. So this is me going back towards the Palladino compound. And this is the road right here that Garrett and Talitha and Mikey got in Mikey Hiddle's car to leave. And Mikey says they were driving down this road out to the main road, which is 600, when Nicole pulled in.
If you're a local, don't try this. They have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they have cameras all over this lot. So that is the compound. I wonder why you didn't get I wonder why you didn't get a notification, Radar. I'm sorry. And for those of you who are wondering where Ashley was left, she was left literally in a trailer out in a cornfield where she had never been, with a girl she had never met, who Ashley said was nice. She was nice to her, but people wanted to know, like, why didn't you jump out a window? Why didn't you run? Up until almost midnight that night, she didn't have a reason to. And even if she did in the dark of night, you're going to see on here, where would she go? This is Jasmine Parker's trailer out in Kentland. I took this video November 20 of 23. November 2023. This is the road. So there's nothing out there, literally. And Jasmine's trailer is right there. It's the first trailer at the start of this trailer park, and this trailer park is shaped like a horseshoe. So when you pull in, the first one on your left is Jasmine's trailer. You go straight back and around and you come out. When you back this up, the person, see this white house right here? This white house is a farmhouse. So this farmhouse sits right in the center of each side of the horseshoe, if that makes sense.
Do you know
So
the first YouTuber to go to that trailer park and film?
no, who was it?
Captain Howdy.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I saw it for the first time. He went out there.
So, and then I kind of videotape. Well, I just want to kind of point this out too, because you're going to hear the descriptions in Garrett's interrogation video. When you look at this trailer, this is the front of the trailer. And if you see the main portion of the trailer, which is on the right end, then there's like this small little connector building. Then there's the last part on the left. This little connector building is where Jasmine was having everybody entering and exiting her trailer. Apparently, she had a padlock on the front door because she had a warrant out for her arrest. And on this particular date, March 28th, when Garrett showed back up, he parked where the car is that you see on the far right end in front of the trailer. That's where he parked Nicole's car. But when he loaded Nicole in that car, he pulled his car down the grass towards that middle building, and the car was backed in, and that's where he loaded Nicole into her own car. And let me see here. So right in between these two big trees right here is where he backed in Nicole's car. And it was the house across the street from this trailer that had video cameras that captured it. However, those same photographs and those same videos were never disclosed to Ashley's public defender. So again, here we are. But I drove down the road. I'm going to let it play so you guys can see the demographics around the area. Once you come out here on this main road, there's nothing out there. It's all cornfield.
I could never.
This was in
Like-
November, so I'm assuming that in February it kind of looked the same way, cut down. But in the dark of night, I couldn't even imagine what it looked like. So,
Have you guys ever seen Children of the Corn?
right.
That shit's fucking scary, man.
It is. So, any questions or anything before we go into Garrett's interrogation? You said YouTube's been doing a lot of unsubbing this week. Why does McHugh? Do you know why does YouTube do that? Do you know? Is it kind of like a let's clean house type thing?
It's the YouTube Doge.
Mama Bear says people kept saying on Reddit that Garrett is too dumb or unsophisticated to pull a crime like the girls' deaths, but I have always felt the girls' murders were brutal, but almost childish. I don't. Okay, Garrett does have a dumb side to him. However, he can talk his way through a multi-layered barbed wire fence if you don't know him.
He's conniving.
He's he's quick on his feet, and his lies make sense. You literally, when you listen to his interrogation, that is why on this live, I am going to stop, narrate, and I apologize in advance, but I will repost his interrogation video on its own. But in order for you to understand the lying, because this version that he tells in this interrogation, you think makes absolute sense. And when you take his version of what really transpired on this day, if you did it, and when he left that trailer that day, Ashley don't know what the hell he was doing. He left to go get meth. He never came back. She's sitting there twiddling her thumbs, sitting in some girl's house that she doesn't know. This girl is nice, but like a little bit, why are you here? She's cleaning. Ashley's like, can I help you? The girl's like, no, I got it. Can I use your phone? Why do you want to use my phone? I want to find out where he went because I really don't want to sit here all day. I want to go home. Garrett didn't have a phone either. So she knew he was going to Delphi. She knew he was going to the compound. The only person that she had the means through Jasmine's phone and through Facebook Messenger to contact was Talitha Beckley, because Talitha Beckley lived on the compound. Ashley starts reaching out to Talitha. Have you seen Garrett? Do you know where he's at? Do you know where I am? If you've seen him, do you know where I am? I'm in Kitland. Do you know what's going on? Talitha plays her stupid. Oh, well, he'll probably be back there soon. No, I haven't seen him. And after 2 or 3 times of Ashley reaching out, Talitha blocks her from contacting her on Jasmine's device. So now Ashley's sitting there completely unaware of what the hell. Now this is like Garrett left that trailer between like 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning. He didn't show back up until almost midnight. And people need to understand also that up until this point, Garrett and Ashley had not been around each other or together for about 3.5, 4 weeks, maybe, well, longer. She had put him in jail. He got out. He violated her restraining order, not once, but twice. He's engaged to Nicole. Nicole is harassing Ashley on Facebook, calling her names, threatening her, trying to pick a fight. People that I've talked to said that Garrett was trying to pit the two girls against each other. So clearly, they didn't like each other. Clearly, Ashley and Talitha didn't really like each other, unbeknownst to Ashley, because Ashley had no idea at that particular time that Garrett was also sleeping with Talitha. Garrett is supposed to be Jason Palladino's buddy. Talitha is Jason Palladino's girlfriend. And Casey Jakes, you can say it was a kidnapping. I don't even know if Garrett thought he was kidnapping her. I think Garrett got himself in a situation that he couldn't get out of. And he was playing it by ear that day. And his original plan didn't work. His second plan didn't work. And taking Nicole out to Kentland, he knew was going to be a chaotic situation, and he would take the best advantage of it that he could. And he did. Yes, Shaboogies, Garrett was sleeping with everybody.
And everybody went to jail or ended up dead. If you think about it. Talitha's in prison, Ashley's in prison, Nicole's dead, Ray's dead. He's a black widow.
So Garrett shows up at Jason Palladino's property with Mikey Hiddle to get drugs. Ultimately, Garrett, Talitha, and Mikey get in Mikey Hiddle's car to leave. And they're pulling out of the driveway when Nicole pulls in. Garrett tells Mikey to stop the car. He gets out. He says, I'm going to ride with her. He gets in Nicole's car. Mikey and Talitha leave in his car, thinking Garrett and Nicole are following. They do not. Mikey and Talitha arrive at Mikey's apartment. And about an hour later, Garrett and Nicole show up. Garrett and Nicole spend the evening at Mikey Hiddle's apartment. Nicole sitting on his lap, them making out, them going in the bathroom, them doing shots of heroin together. And I'm going to leave it at that. After we go through this interrogation video, the next live, I will break down what happens after the fact, and then we will go into Talitha's. Hey, Travis. Travis is here. Travis says, which is very, very common with a group of tweakers. It's par for the course. All of this behavior, the guest from yesterday spoke to this a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a roll with the punches type situation. And here we are. But this is where the night took them. This is where Garrett spent his evening, unbeknownst to Ashley, during all of these hours, where he was, who he was with, what he was doing. He was with Nicole, he was with Talitha, and he was with Mikey Hiddle. Now, knowing all of that, let's get into Garrett's interrogation video, and you can hear for yourself his version of events that night, that day, leading up to that day, how he got there, who was with him, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to fast forward it to 16 and 30 seconds, which takes us, Garrett's put in this room and left by himself for a while. Detective Rowe comes in and out. Then Detective Rowe comes in and goes through his Miranda rights. Garett says nothing, and the conversation starts literally at about 16:30. So that's where we're going to pick up. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit before
You
that.
say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you ask any questions, and to have them with you during questioning. You also have the right to stop answering at any time to talk to a lawyer. So to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Understand all that? You're not a juvenile, so it doesn't matter for you there. Waiver. I've read this statement of my rights. I understand what my rights are. I'm willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion, which is kind of being enforced, of any kind has been used against me. Understand all that? Okay. We'd like to talk to you, and at any time you can stop. But before we do that, I just have to get your signature on there saying that you're good with that. You good? So please just sign it and then print your name under it, because half the time people can't read my signature. So
We'll get the cuffs off after that.
we'll take his sweatshirt off.
Sweatshirt,
Yeah,
and-
you're in this other facility. I'm not sure what the policies and stuff like that are.
But we'll get the sweatshirt off.
All right, but just so I know, like I said, I introduced myself. So Garrett Kurtz,
T.S.
K-I-R-T-S. Okay, and where you living, Garrett?
I currently I'm living in I'm living around from my mom's or my buddy's house in Delphi. That's about it.
Okay, and what's your address there?
My mom's address is
Your buddy's, your mom's, where you living?
I bounce back and forth.
Okay.
My mom's address is 10413 South Springboro. It's like my grandma's, and my mom stays there from time to time, so I guess we call it my grandma and grandpa's house.
Okay.
And my friend is off of 600 in Delphi.
All right. Okay. Do you got cup key on you? What we're gonna do is I gotta grab my phone.
So just real quick, some commentary here. You heard him say he was staying with his mom and grandma and bouncing back and forth between there and 600. 600 is the compound. However, last night, during the interview that we played, or the interview that he did on Open Secrets, she specifically asked him about when he was claiming he didn't know where he was at his mom's house, he had been screwed up on spice, and then he brought up his grandmother, and he was asked, so your grandma and mom live together? And he said, no. Yet right here, he basically says they do live together. So I just wanted to point that out.
But yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna grab my phone. I'll be back with it.
No, I got mud down. I don't know, because I
Sorry, guys.
All right. So do you know what we're here to talk about?
honestly, no, I don't. I was told to bring the car up here and exchange it, and when you guys pulled in, I freaked the fuck out because I don't even know what the fuck's going on. My first
He's talking about Nicole Bowen's car that he was caught in, that he ran in, and the police had to basically almost crash into him to get him to stop.
thought was, okay, I'm being set up by somebody.
For what though? What would you be set up for?
I don't know. Because I was told today to bring a car up here by a guy named King, and he said, go take the car here, you're getting another one, bring it back to me, and I'll make sure everything's okay with you. I'm like, why wouldn't anything be okay with me? What the fuck did I do? And, I mean, when I took off, my first initial thing was just hit the highway and take off. I didn't mean to like tear up boats, fucking property or nothing like that, but I fucking scared to death. I'm scared to death.
Apparently, you did take off, and it's what, just a field?
No, yeah, I mean, because I haven't been in trouble since last time I got arrested. December or January, me and my girlfriend had gotten into it, and she hit me, and I pushed her off of me, and she called the police, and I got a domestic battery, but then I went to jail. I got out that week after, and she recanted her statements because we both beat shit out of each other, neither one of us was justifiable, but.
So he's saying here that Ashley Garth recanted her statements a week after he was arrested for the domestic violence of the Strangulation 6 in Carroll County on January 20th. However, that's not true, and a restraining order was filed. However, Garrett never had to go to court for this case whatsoever. It kept getting postponed, and then this case happened, again, postponed, and then ultimately dismissed.
Who was that girlfriend?
Ashley Garth.
Okay.
I forgot that. Just put your date of birth right there. Okay. So take me through. So you have a girlfriend. I'm going to try to keep this straight in my head. You have a girlfriend. What's her name?
Ashley Garth.
Okay. And so how long have you been?
Me and her have been together off and on like over the past 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So do you have any ties to Newton County?
My buddy Chris Mathis lives up here. That's about it.
Okay. And what else?
Just that.
Just that?
I've come up here to visit him a couple of times. He lives over there. If you turn left at the gas station and go to past the Casey's or the Citgo or whatever, he lives. You turn left. What is it? It's the Casey's. You turn left past the Casey's and go over the tracks. He lives this second stop sign on the right hand side.
We still live down off of like First Street.
He might. I mean, does he stay at the trailer park too sometimes? Or is he
Yeah, I took him out there to get his tattoo shit.
Okay.
Okay. But you thinking he lives right there
Yeah, I'm
past
pretty sure
Casey's
that's where he's
house?
staying at.
So tell me about this trailer park north of town.
Some girl named Jasmine lives there.
Okay. And how do you know Jasmine?
Through Chris. I took him out there to get his tattoo stuff, and he said that, oh, my tattoo shit's here, come over, she's cool. And she's like, oh, well, I'm Jasmine, nice to meet you. And she talked about how she had a warrant and all this, and she was living out there. So when you pull in to the trailer park, you go to the entrance with the red fire hydrant and turn right, and it's the first trailer. But you have to go past the house where the girl owns it, or whatever her name is, a big farmhouse on the right side.
Yeah.
And if you go past that, you can turn right, or you can go straight, and there's like a old black Lincoln car at the second trailer that was right here.
Yeah, I think it's a blue trailer.
Yeah.
So who all lives there?
Just Jasmine, as far as I know.
Okay, I want to point out too, when you listen to him talk, when he starts talking about other individuals, before he answers a question, he likes to insert a negative opinion or some sort of nefarious context about the person before he gives the answer. That's just my takeaway on his personality. Sorry.
Okay. Jasmine having kids?
I don't know that I know of. She didn't have any there.
Okay. So when was the last time you were out there?
I came up here, what is it, this Monday? Tuesday, I think, last week.
Okay.
So this is April 1st on a Monday. Nicole was taken out there late Thursday, March 28th. So this was almost 5 days before. And she was discovered on March 30th.
I was up here till the day after, but I took Chris back to his mom, and then me and my girlfriend went home.
Okay. So what day exactly were you?
I was up here Monday and till Tuesday morning, and I went back home.
Okay, some of the info I was getting was that you were up here later in the week than that.
I mean, I was up here later, I might have been up here later in the week, but I'm not sure. It was Monday, Tuesday, and then I went back home and I came back up here because Chris was supposed to finish my tattoos and he didn't even finish doing this one. I had to go do this one first. It's just Lone Wolf. It's been my nickname since I was a kid because all my friends, I'd have a friend, and then growing up, like my mom always said, because you're going to be the leader of the pack, but you're going to be by yourself. That's what my mom would always call me. Because all my friends would they tried to influence me into doing shit, and when I was young and if I was like 6 years old, a kid influenced me to throw rocks at the window with him, and I busted the window out of this house, and we got in trouble for it, and my mom got in trouble for it.
Okay, so you come back up to finish the tats. On what day would that have been?
That had been Wednesday, I believe. It should be on my, I just bought that phone. It should be on my Facebook somewhere.
Okay. What's your, you said you just got the phone?
Yeah.
What's your phone number now? Just so if I need to reach back out to you.
765.
Yeah, stand by here. Yep.
765.
Yep.
336. 2911.
2911?
Yeah.
All right. And do you go by, Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have your middle name or what?
Garrett.
Just Garrett?
Did you have a phone number before that from an old phone by chance, or?
Yeah, what was your number before that one?
I had a text now that used to be connected to my old Facebook. It's 280-6621, I believe. No. Yeah, 280-6621, 765 area code.
765-280-6621. Okay. And that wasn't just a regular phone plan?
No, it was my phone. It was running off of Wi-Fi, so I had to use text now whenever I got internet. Like, if I got somewhere with Xfinity, I could log into my grandma's Xfinity account and call from, like, if I needed to use the phone. Other than that, I didn't have a cell phone until now.
Does Jasmine out there, she have Wi-Fi?
I believe so. Well, yeah, she had Wi-Fi, but I think she got it off her neighbor. So I don't know if she has Wi-Fi there, but I know I got Xfinity or Netgear or something like that out there.
Xfinity or Netgear? Yeah. Okay. I just thought because I knew how to look at. Okay, so you believe you were last out there Wednesday night and Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, take me through what you did that day. Literally from the time you woke up that morning, because I don't have a clue. So what'd you do that day?
When I woke up that morning, me and my girlfriend and took a shower and shit, and my buddy.
Okay, now, mind you, Ashley's just gotten out of the ER, and her friend got them a hotel because Garrett wanted them to be dropped off on the street because his family wouldn't let them stay at their house. And this is his version of them going from that to Jasmine's trailer.
Called him, which was Chris, and he said, "Hey man," he goes, "Why don't you come up here and hang out for a little bit?" Okay. So we come up here, and when I got here, my phone took me, the GPS, it took me way the fuck out that way to where the cones are. It told me to turn right and go down the country road, and there's like a blue house on the right corner, and it told me to, like, the GPS took me right to the middle of the road, so I called Chris, I'm like, where in the fuck am I at? He said, oh, it took you on down. He's like, come back to the highway, turn right, and then come back to the gas station and turn right where the Jeep is. So I called him when I turned right at the Jeep, went to the stop sign, turned left, got the Casey's, went over, picked him up at his house. And he said, we're going to go out here to the trailer park real quick. And I said, well, what's at the trailer park? He's like, my friend Jasmine. I think I've known Chris for a while, but I used to work with him in exterior view in Lafayette. And one day he was like all fucked up, and I couldn't even understand him one day, and he was up, down, well, then he had fallen asleep, and he was sweating profusely. So the only thing I'm thinking is, I hope he's on fucking bullshit again. We go out there, and I ended up meeting Jasmine, and she seemed all right, but she was all nice, and she let my girlfriend here use her makeup and trim her nails and what have you. And they're talking, and they became like really good friends. So Chris is supposed to do my tattoos, but he can't find an Allen wrench to finish his, like, to tighten his tattoo needle gun up with. So we looked for hours for that out in the, like, where the trailer's at, like, it's kind of hard to explain. There's like an add-on where you go through the door at. And we looked for Allen wrenches out there for like 30 minutes and went back inside and I tore the kitchen apart and like the cut wise, she had a bunch of cups with like pennies and shit in it and like phone charger screws, so I figured one of them might be in there, but we never could find one. Spent a little bit of time out there. I fell asleep. I fell asleep, Ashley fell asleep on the couch. Chris ended up, when I woke up that morning, he wasn't there, and I asked Jasmine, like, when the hell did Chris go? She goes, oh, he left. I'm like, where the fuck did he go? And then he ended up being, what's that town over?
Which way?
If you go up the highway, if you're coming from, where the trailer park's at, where the orange cones are, if you get, instead of turning and going off to get to the trailer park, he goes up straight.
Morocco.
Brooke. He was at his aunt's or something like that, I want to say. And every time I asked him to send me an address, but he never would. He's like, man, this is my family's house. I can't have people over like that. And it kind of, I didn't understand why he would bring me all the way out here and have me stay, but then leave the next morning. And I had to wait for him to get all the way back to his mom's house so I could go over there again and get a hold of him. He has my pants. I'm already paid for the tattoo, which was I have a $200 pair of Rock Revival jeans I let him have, and he said he's going to finish my hand, but he never did. I talked to him today, and he said he was down south.
Okay. Who's one of your, how many, like, you say lone wolf, like, who's like a really good close friend to you?
My girlfriend, Ashley.
Okay.
That's about it.
How about a guy that you just like, you've been riding with ever since you might have been young or something like that? I mean, everyone, might be lone wolf, but they
Jimmy
always got...
Snowberger. I mean, this is just based off of what my mom...
No, I know, but I'm saying
Jimmy
everybody's
Snowberger is my only guy friend, guy-wise. I mean, I have acquaintances, but I don't, considering close friend, like you just asked Jimmy Snowberger, we've been friends since I was shit, we used to ride dirt bikes together. His mom used to change my diapers, and my mom used to change his diapers.
Okay, Travis, which phone question? Can you give me a little bit more detail and I'll explain? And for those of you guys that are here listening, Travis has helped on this case from the very beginning with me and Cherie. He is an attorney from Texas and he's incredible.
I think he first posted it when they were talking about, or when, what's his name? The cop was asking him about the phones. And so I think he wanted to explain all the different phones, I guess.
I think that was because by this point, so they had found Nicole on the 30th. And they never recovered Nicole's phone, number one. But I think on this same day, or the next day, they had already served the search warrant on Jasmine's trailer, but Jasmine wasn't there. And they had already began to pull all of the Facebook stuff. And everybody was, instead of using phone numbers, a lot of them were using Facebook Messenger. So I think that he was trying to pin Garrett down on what phone he was using at that time, because Garrett didn't have a phone at that time. He had a phone that didn't have any service and only connected to Wi-Fi, but Jasmine didn't have Wi-Fi. Her Wi-Fi, she was stealing Wi-Fi from her neighbor, but Ashley said that the phone that Garrett had wouldn't connect to it. And that's the same phone that the battery in the back of the phone, and that might be why the phone was just a piece of shit. That Garrett, the battery on the back of this phone wouldn't stay in. So Garrett, on the morning before he left, was asking for a roll of tape or some kind of tape to tape the back of this phone to keep the battery in, which that tape was handed to Ashley. Ashley took the roll of tape, pulled the tape off, and put it on the phone. That phone with that tape was what Ashley had when she walked into the Lafayette Police Department. When Garrett came into this interview, he had a working phone. That is because he claimed his mother got him a new phone. from the time that Jeff Sneath pulled a gun on him out there in Crawfordsville and told him to get off the property, when he left and he was missing for a day or two, his mom got him another phone. So these phone numbers, I believe that's why Detective Rowe is trying to pin him down on what phone he was using. Yes, Travis, yes. He was asking him about his phone. And that also might have something to do with the fact that they now know that he is somewhat involved with the Ray Hainish murder. Because when he's in his next interrogation, when Detective Rowe says there are detectives here who want to speak to you, those detectives were regarding the Ray case. And he had been in communication with Ray. So I don't know how long it takes to get phone records back, but I'm assuming they were probably trying to pin down with him the phones.
You live?
Delphi.
Okay.
There's a karate dojo off the same where he lives, and it's called Snows, and it's actually his grandpa that has it.
The last time you saw him?
Last time I saw him, I see him about every week.
Okay.
I'd say a couple weeks ago, something like that.
Do you know his phone number by chance?
765
Yeah.
479
Mm-hmm.
4795. What is it? It's 479 or 4976053. I want to say. I mean, I can get it if you guys will know my.
Yeah, I'm just asking you. He thought it's 479 or
4976053. No, 7093. That's what. Yeah, 7093. 479 7093.
and last name again?
Snowburger.
Just like snow and then just like hamburger?
Berger. And there's a junior and senior. He's a junior.
Okay, good enough. Okay, so who all was at Jasmine's trailer that night, on Wednesday night?
Me, Ashley, Jasmine, Chris, and the fuck was her name? Jasmine had some girl come over there. She was a lesbian chick. She drove a red Monte Carlo. I want to say Chrissy or something like that. And she took Jasmine to town to get cigarettes, and then came back, and then she left. But she was a lesbian. I knew that. She lived in Francisville or Monon, one of the two.
Any other females?
Not that I know of.
Okay, any other girls?
Let me just remind all of you that Mikey Hiddle lived in Francisville. So I kind of feel like I don't know if this is true or not, but it could be a made up story, and he's throwing in Francisville because that's where he had came from Mikey's house.
With you?
No, just Ashley.
Okay, yeah, we're just getting some information that there was another female with you. So
I didn't have anybody else with me. How things with me and Ashley have been going pretty good. Like a month ago, me and her got into a huge fight, and I ended up sleeping around on her, and she fucking really hurt her feelings.
Who else was involved? You say you slept around. I know you probably don't want to get into it, but who was the other girl involved?
Talitha Beckley.
Anyone else?
That's it.
who's this girl? Who's that girl?
Nicole. She used to date my buddy Caleb Belford. I used to hang out with her. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, so we got arrested in Lafayette together like a month and a half ago. And I was trying to get her, like, take her to rehab and stuff, because she's a heroin addict. And she's a really sweet girl. She's trying to get her kids back and everything.
Okay. And who did she say she was?
Caleb Alford.
Last name again?
Alford, Alford.
Okay, so when was the last time you seen Nicole?
Last time I seen Nicole was at her friend Terry's house. This has been like 2 weeks ago. She bounces around, and when she gets dope sick, you never know where she's at. She won't ever answer the phone. I tried to get a hold of her for a few days, and I ended up going out to my friend Jason's, and she was there. She stayed at the trailer behind him, and her friend Terry Smothers' house.
Town is
in Delphi.
I'm not real familiar with over there. Is that close to Brookston area?
It's more closer to Monticello, off the highway.
Okay.
Brookston's kind of, what's that? Brookston would be east of where this is from.
Garrett, I need you to be honest with me, brother, okay? We're talking about something that's very serious. And you willing to talk with me from this point forward will make a dramatic impact on the rest of your life. That's how serious.
What's going on here?
So, when was the last time? Let's just stick with being truthful, okay? And then after that, we can deal with anything else, but you gotta be truthful. And I know you're not being truthful about the last time you seen Nicole.
I guess what makes me nervous is that when I came up here, Nicole was with Chris. And when I come back up here to drop the car off that I was told to bring back up here, because she sold that car a couple weeks ago, or she didn't sell the car, she got some dope for the car, and she gave him a title. And
Who's he?
he goes by the name of King. I don't know what his last name is. He's a guy from I'm not trying to sound right, he's a nigger from Lafayette. And by nigger I mean he sells heroin, which, heroin fucking, any drugs kill people, but heroin, like, I don't know, I guess it's a whole different type of level, what it does to people, what people will do for it, I guess. But when she was up here with me, and the reason I'm not trying to lie to you about bullshit you, but it's fucking, I don't know what the fuck's going on. When you just showed me her mugshot, that kind of scared me. Did something happen to her?
Yes, but at the same time, I'm waiting for you to start being truthful first.
When she was up here with me, we were at the trailer park, and she rode up with me and Ashley, and I dated her for a little bit, and I love the girl. She's a fucking sweetheart, but I can't be around that heroin. And Ashley's no better. She's a meth addict. I guess, I don't know, I got a big heart and I try to help people, but when she came up here, I left, went and got cigarettes, came back, and she said that she was going with Chris. And when I woke up that one morning, when I went to bed, she was still there. When I woke up, her and Chris were gone. And when I went to see Chris, I was like, where'd Nicole go? And he said that she had somebody come pick her up because she wanted to get high. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything, but if something did happen to her, I don't want to withhold any information. I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole situation.
But this is the thing. You are. We've been working a case with Nicole, okay, for the last few days. Everybody from the local to the federal level. Okay? You're sitting here for a reason.
I don't know why I'm sitting here.
Because you're right in the center of it.
How?
You're right in the center of it. You were last seen with Nicole.
Yeah, I was last seen with Nicole, but I wouldn't have. What happened to her?
Listen,
I'm asking you.
I think you're a good guy, okay? For real, look at me. I think you're a good guy. And I think she is a sweetheart. A lot of people say she is. But I think maybe emotions got the best of, and they get the best of all of us, right? Sometimes, you know what I mean? Right? So, and like Detective Rose said, what happens right now can drastically change the rest of your life, okay? It can help you, or it can go the other way. If your emotions got the best of you, we can't change that now. All we can do is tell the truth, right? She's a sweetheart. She got kids, right?
Yeah, she has.
She's someone's mother.
She has. I know she has Corbin, and she has another son, and once she has a daughter too.
So she's someone's mom. I mean,
Okay. Let me just point out that Nicole has 2 sons, and his deep need to help his friend Nicole that he cared a lot about. He didn't even know what children she had. She had 2 sons, not a son and a daughter.
if something happened to your mom, would you want someone to be truthful?
Yeah, I would, but
Yeah.
I didn't hurt her.
Nicole was hurt. Okay.
That's what I'm gathering from this.
Just come clean.
I had nothing.
What? The Scion. Tell me about the Scion. The car that you were just taking in.
That's Nicole's car. When we went to Lafayette a few weeks ago, she got a bag of dope from this guy named King.
Mm-hmm.
When she got the front, she gave him the title of her car. And when she said, when Chris said that she had somebody come pick her up, to my knowledge, that's who I thought would have came to pick her up. So I went home. And I was talking to King over the few days that I was talking to him. He said that he sent Nicole to rehab.
The drug dealer sent his customer to rehab.
That's what I thought too. However, apparently, according to somebody, this guy, King, and this girl named Sheena from Monticello, King's from Lafayette, Sheena Cottrell's from Monticello, said that Nicole and Sheena and King, and this came from King's mouth, that they had something to do with or no information about the 2 girls in Delphi that got killed, and that somebody said something or they were at risk of getting in trouble, which I don't understand why you would withhold that type of information about those 2 little girls getting killed, because that killed the whole town of Delphi. I remember when it happened. I woke up that morning and I looked on.
Boom. You want to know why Garrett Kurtz is a suspect in the Delphi case? Right here it is. He put himself in the middle of this case because he started pointing fingers. And this is not the first time. And he keeps reiterating, I don't know anything about this case. I don't know anything about this case. And from here until Lashley's trial, he throws several people under the bus about the Delphi case.
News, and my mom was like, Garrett, we need to go to the church. And I was like, why? And my mom was like, because those little girls, their mom has passed away. Their mom was passed away, but I think it was her aunt that raised them. And my mom used to work with her dad or her uncle out at Indiana Packers with them. So we went to the church, and a few of the family members were there, and we prayed with them and shit. I mean, it was just, it's what is that word? But we're willing to see what it's like a community when they pull together to like, I guess, give the other people shoulder to cry on.
And I understand. And that was a tragic event down there. That's going to take a long time for the town to get over. In terms of the Scion, why do you have it?
I have the car because when I came up here, she left. So to my knowledge, she went back to Lafayette. I've been trying to get a hold of her. Her number is it's on. If you put text now on that thing, I could log into mine and give it to you. But I'm not sure what it is right off head. But it's under Chloe. It's CHLOE Higgs, and it's a 27 or a 28 number. I can't remember what. I think it's a 27, but it's 765 area.
So where's your phone at?
My phone is in the car.
What about your other phone that you use the text now app at?
My girlfriend has it.
So we can maybe find out that way.
Why did you get a new phone?
I got that because my phone is it's a Boost mobile phone, but they used to be my mom's, and she reported hers lost. So the SIM card on it, like if you put a SIM card in it, it'll lock it out. And I bought that phone yesterday, so I had a phone.
So why again did you get a new phone?
My old phone, I have a Samsung Galaxy. It's like the one I have. My mom reported it lost. Or it's when you report it, it's reported lost or stolen. So when you stick a SIM card in it, it'll lock it.
Right, why didn't you just read?
So it don't work.
You can't do it like that. I don't know my mom's information.
So it don't work.
No, it doesn't work. It works off
So
Wi-Fi.
why does your girlfriend have it?
It works off internet, like Messenger and the text now app. But you can't put a SIM card in it and it can have service.
What was the carrier, like Verizon, Sprint, ETT, do you remember?
Boost.
Boost.
Okay, so again, you still never really told me why you have the cars. She gave the title to King. Why?
She gave the title. She gave him the title. She still had the She still had the book and everything. It's still in my glove box. I haven't touched it, but when I took the car because Chris is like, oh, well, she got a ride with somebody, and the one place she was living at was Lafayette, where she was living on 600 at my friend Russell's house.
Got to clarify here. Nicole Bowen never gave her title to King for heroin. Nicole Bowen gave her title to Jason Palladino's stepmom in exchange for $500 to bond herself out of Tippecanoe. Well, it was actually Lafayette, but from the arrest that she was involved in with Garrett on March 14th in Tippecanoe County. Their bond was $250 apiece. They bonded out the same night. So Nicole offered her title up in exchange for $500 so they could both bond out. So he's taking that story and manipulating it to work in his favor right here. You will hear about all of that when we get to Talitha's interrogation.
I'm not sure you're right.
Would you like a drink?
I had to chew in when I got pulled out of the car and I spit it out. I got a drink downstairs and I'll be all right. But the reason I had the car is because when he said she got a ride, I thought the only place she got went was Lafayette, so I went and looked for her. Me and Ashley looked for her for a couple of days, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I've been trying to blow her phone up the whole time. I cannot get a hold of her. But that's honestly why I have the car. I mean, and when he called me, he said, get the car and take it up there and exchange it. I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? He's like, just listen to me. And when you guys pull in, my other side is a hole in a minute. I'm not primarily into a few select people from here, and I'm getting myself into a situation I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So King, the dealer, sent you up here then?
Yeah.
And who's King talking with?
Talking with me.
Who are you talking with to swap the car with?
Mike?
What?
I'm not sure what the last name is. It starts with the H.
How long do you know that guy?
I met him when I came up here with Chris, but it was like, hey, hello, how you doing type thing. He drives a Pontiac, and we were talking about, he said he buys and sells cars when I was up here, and I talked to a couple people that I know, like my dad, he buys and sells equipment and shit, so I gave him my dad's number, and I called him and gave him my number today, and then my buddy's like, oh, well, call him and see if you can get rid of this car. And I called him and I was like, hey, but the whole time I'm thinking is this sign's not in my name, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. And King had signed the title, but I don't have the title in the car.
So how are you gonna swap it?
Mike was just gonna swap it and then give me another vehicle.
Without the title?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Do you think that's on the up and up?
Not really, but I mean, I don't really like talking to that King guy, because I mean, shit kind of scares me. Drug dealers kind of scare me.
And where's he live? Where's King live?
In the apartment complex I'm not sure which apartment, but on the at a levee in Lafayette, there's an apartment complex behind the liquor store. You have to get there. If you come in on 40 Route 3, which is called River Road, you turn left by 9 Irish Brothers. You turn left by 9 Irish Brothers, you go down, and then you pass the movie theater on the right, and there'll be a jail record store. Right before the jail record store, you can pull in there, you turn left. There's a one-way coming this way and a one-way coming this way. So you turn on one way that goes into the parking lot, and there'll be a B-dubs and stuff. Right when you hit that parking lot, you turn right and follow that trail all the way back. And I know we always used to park like you go all the way back to the last building. We used to park right when you see the last building, go like this, and then pull immediately up this way. And when you're sitting in the parking spot, you look behind you, you can see two yellow marker things that come out of the ground, and there's the entrance that you have to walk through. There's two dumpsters over by that way too.
So did you go down there at all today?
No.
So when did you actually get the car?
When did I get the car?
Mm-hmm.
I've had the car. I've had the car since I was up here because I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I've tried getting a hold of her mom through Facebook. I've tried getting a hold of Sam Bowen, who she's from Monticello. I know people that know him, but I don't personally know him myself.
How long have you known Nicole?
I met her in work release in Lafayette. I was there from...
Okay. Up to this point right now, nothing he said is true. He's making it all up as he goes along. But right now, he's getting ready to get into a factual story because I've been able to verify when he was in work release, when Nicole was in work release. And Ashley's knowledge of when she thought him and Nicole kind of reunited after running into each other at Russell Stout's house. That's all we have to go off of. So, but this is kind of where you can kind of think maybe he's telling a little bit of truth here. I just don't know. Yeah, Casey Jakes, he's making this all up as he goes. He's making this all up. I have watched this interrogation video probably 150 times. And every single time I learn something new that he made up, or that I can see where he's pulling a tiny little thread from another story to pull it in. So like I said, he can talk himself out of a multi-layer barbed wire fence. He is good at lying if you're not paying attention.
May until September 1st of 2018. That was the first time I met her. And, we always had, she always looked at me, I always looked at her, and I was trying to stay out of trouble. And the whole time I'm thinking is, because when you're in work release, you're not supposed to talk to the females. The whole time I'm thinking is, I'm in there talking to this girl, and she comes in, I'm going to try talking to her and say, hey, what's up, girl? And then I'm going to get in trouble. So I never really talked to her in work release. And then she dated Caleb Alford, which is my girlfriend's sister's baby daddy. And we were all at Russell's one night, me and Ashley, and we're...
One more takeaway. So when he's talking about Caleb Alfred, and he said, my girlfriend's sister's baby daddy. So, something I've never really touched base on in here. Ashley's younger sister, Chelsea, has a baby by Caleb Alfred. Caleb Alfred is who ended up bringing Nicole to Russell Stout's property for the cookout. This is where Garrett Kurtz and Nicole saw each other for the first time outside of work release.
And so was Caleb, and Russell was too. And she came down there, and I knew who she was, but I didn't really say much because I didn't want to piss my girlfriend off. And then we started talking and shit, and she gave me her phone number, and we started talking off and on. And we started messing around and stuff. But she took me home, and when this was like probably a month ago. She took me home, dropped me off back at Ashley's, and I hadn't really talked to her. And then when I went down to Terry's that one day, and stopped at Russell's first. She went there, and I went down to my buddy Jason's. And the guy Terry lives on Jason's property and a trailer behind him. And she came outside. I was like, "Hey, can we talk?" And so we talked for a minute. And Ashley was down at Russell's. And I was like, "Are you okay?" Because I know that she was having a real hard time with me because me not talking to her, because she got really attached to me. And I love the girl to death too, but I mean, she's older than I am. I'm a lot younger, and I've been with Ashley for the past 4.5 years, and like I love Nicole. I care about Nicole, but I mean, I love Ashley too. I know that if me and Ashley were ever to break up, I mean, that'd be the hardest thing I've ever had to go through.
Sorry, guys, I have to jump in again. So, for whatever reason, he wants Detective Rowe to believe that Ashley is his true love, his true heart. Bullshit. At this point in time, him and Ashley had only been back together for about 6 months. She had been gone for over a year, living in Florida, to get away from him. And like most women in abusive relationships, for whatever reason, they go back. When she came back, he was just getting out of work release. Ashley had gotten her life together. She had gotten her CNL license. She thought that he was clean. And I think that Ashley deep down truly loved him, but it only took her about 5 months to figure out it wasn't going to work. And that's where it went downhill. Prior to her leaving, she was beaten, had a broken arm. She came back mid-July, and by October, she was sporting 2 black eyes on Facebook. So I think right here, what he's trying to do is make it out like, I think in his mind, he needs Ashley to be on his team. He really does. And he knows that the last time he saw Ashley, his friend put a gun in his face, telling him to get off of his property because Ashley was terrified of him and needed to get away from him. So right now he's touchy-feeling the waters as to who the police have talked to, what do they know, and who's telling them what.
I mean, we've been through a couple miscarriages together, the whole 9 yards. So I told Nicole that I was coming up here to hang out with Chris and get a couple tattoos done, and she was all for it. And when she seen Ashley, she kind of got, she didn't get upset. She got more like hurt by like.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to back this up just a little bit. But what he's describing right now is now he's claiming after this whole 45-minute ordeal, now he's claiming that he invited Nicole to go with him out there to Kitland, and he goes to pick her up, and he has Ashley with him, and now Nicole's brokenhearted. And then she gets in the car and she sits in the back seat and she sees him and Ashley holding hands and she looks hurt. Garrett, in his eyes, everybody wants to be with Garrett. Everybody loves Garrett. And he's just trying to teeter-totter and make everybody happy. Oh, God, this makes me so angry.
That was the first time I met her. And, we always had, she always looked at me, I always looked at her, and I was trying to stay out of trouble. And the whole time I'm thinking is when you're in work release, you're not supposed to talk to the females. The whole time I'm thinking is, I'm in there talking to this girl, and she comes in, I'm going to try talking to her and say, "Hey, what's up, girl?" And then I'm going to get in trouble. So I never really talked to her in work release. And then she dated Caleb Alford, which is my girlfriend's sister's baby daddy. And we were all at Russell's one night, me and Ashley were, and so was Caleb, and Russell was too. And she came down there, and I knew who she was, but I didn't really say much because I didn't want to piss my girlfriend off. And then we started talking and shit, and she gave me her phone number, and we started talking off and on. we started messing around and stuff, but she took me home, and when this was like probably a month ago, she took me home, dropped me off back at Ashley's, and I hadn't really talked to her. And then when I went down to Terry's that one day, and stopped at Russell's first, she wasn't there, and I went down to my buddy Jason's, and the guy Terry lives on Jason's property and a trailer behind him, and she came outside, I was like, hey, can we talk? And so we talked for a minute, and Ashley was down at Russell's, and I was like, are you okay? Because I know that she was having a real hard time with me, because me not talking to her, because she got really attached to me. And I love the girl to death too, but I mean, she's older than I am, I'm a lot younger, and I've been with Ashley for the past 4.5 years, and like I love Nicole, I care about Nicole, but I mean, I love Ashley too. I know that if me and Ashley were ever to break up, I mean, that'd be the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. I mean, we've been through a couple miscarriages together, the whole 9 yards. So I told Nicole that I was coming up here to hang out with Chris and get a couple tattoos done, and she was all for it. And when she seen Ashley, she kind of got, she didn't get upset. She got more like hurt by like seeing me and her, like me hold her hand or whatever in the back seat. And she got over it though when we got there. Like she started loosening up with Chris, and I'm pretty sure they had sex, but I'm not sure, because if I wake up in the morning and him and her are gone, and I call him later and he's like, oh yeah, well she left mom's house. I don't know why he would take a random girl to his mom's house if he wasn't hooking up with her.
Okay. All right, give me a few seconds. I'm gonna get you some water. I want something to drink too.
And I know that Chris's mom, there's a silver 2-door Explorer in the driveway.
That's there, you turn it past Casey's or whatever.
Yeah. Right when you go over the tracks. It's almost to the end of the street.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward it through this break, but any questions? Any opinions? I have a lot, but I'm going to try to
I've
hold
always
my
found it
tongue.
funny that the feds, because he did say federal, and the FBI did show up to help identify Nicole's body. And like, she's a known dope fiend in a tiny little town in Indiana. Like, I don't understand why the feds had to get involved unless she was like an informant or something.
I mean, I don't know how that works, Travis. If you could answer, with a person found like that, is the FBI normally called in? I know that there were actually, what is his name? Cherie, help me out here because I text you about it when he testified at trial in the Delphi case. He was one of the first ones on the scene. Dwayne, was it Dwayne?
There's Dwayne Dadsman.
Dwayne Datsman was one of the first officers on the scene at Nicole's case in Nicole's case, and he also testified in the Delphi case, I think as a photographer. Am I right?
It sounds right.
And then the other thing that I wanted to point out, especially in Newton County, with it being, I mean, if you think that Delphi is small, Newton County is half that size, literally half that size. And there's some interesting information that Streets can explain about the location in the property that Nicole's body was found on. He did testify at Ashley's trial, but Streets, do you want to give that information about the individual? And here, let me pop this up here really fast.
Well, from what I understand, like they're a very wealthy family. They've been around. Their farming family has been around for a long time. They own all the car dealerships in Newton County. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I'm talking about the people who own this property here.
Yeah,
Where
the people who own that property are very well standing within the community. Very rich, very powerful, lots of property, lots of little old farmhouses that they live in and out of. That hunting shack had been there for, if you go on Google Earth history, it was there in like the 90s. And as soon as this happened, they took it out.
So, I mean,
I think it's interesting that because Chris Mathis was with him. And Chris Mathis
yeah,
grew up there, so he would have known that this was this family's property. I don't know why I mean, I wonder if it was some sort of message from him. I don't know. It's just weird.
well, the fact, okay, so this is kind of like a train car or a shipping container, and the opening of it was facing the back. This front end up here on the left end was towards the road, the main road, and it was used obviously as like a deer stand. Like somebody could sit up here in this cabinet up here on top and hunt.
The back is looking towards the Iroquois River, right? So they would have been able to sit in there and seen the deer coming back across that meadow from the river.
Mm-hmm.
It would
And
be an ideal hunting spot.
so just the fact that there's, a well-to-do landowner whose property Nicole's body was found on, I'm sure he had a little bit of, pressure to put on the city or the judicial system to get an answer. And with Garrett, initially Garrett, Jeff Durinsky, the prosecutor in this case, initially had stated that he was going to seek life without parole for the torture and the murder of Nicole Bowen. And then Garrett didn't even get the maximum, which was 60 years. He took a plea of 55 and then testified at Ashley's trial that he didn't get any deal at all. So, I mean, these are all things that we take into account. Yeah, Randy Hall. Yeah, that was his name, Randy Hall. Travis says that he thinks the feds called in with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, there was not a major investigation into this case. Nicole unfortunately had a nefarious criminal record, and she was found dead. And though Garrett pled out, I truly believe that this case became on the public radar because Garrett became a person of interest in the Delphi case. And that just ran uphill and snowballed down the other side, and Ashley was taken down with him. And unfortunately, anytime anyone is convicted, undoing that is not an easy task. So I will go back to Garrett's interrogation.
Hello, hybrid pursuit.
Living room.
Okay, let me back it up here. Hey, Catastrophe. Hey guys, hit that like button and subscribe, please, and thank you.
Loosen this one up.
Yeah, I don't think I got over, probably tightened up over or something. Take your hand. I don't think I got the lock this time. All right, Gary, tell me who this is. conversation, who's it between?
I think so, yeah. I ain't positive, but well, dude, it says 2 miles northwest of fucking Kellen. I just read it again, and that's like fucking right down the road.
Hey, you're
Like right
playing
down the road,
something in the
past me.
background, Amy.
I figured you were lost or something. Here.
What'd you say?
You're playing something in the background.
No. I'm not. Detective Rowe is. So,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So,
I'm retarded.
no,
Oh, you're not allowed to
because
use that word anymore. Sorry.
people probably don't realize it. So, Mikey Hiddle, who gave Garrett the ride to Delphi on Thursday, March 28th, got an earful from Garrett about his arrest and his wanting to F up Nicole because Nicole snitched on him. Nothing about Ashley, who Ashley was, yada, 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 yada. After Nicole's body was found, Mikey Hiddle went to the Jasper Police Department and said, "Hey, I think I know who might have done this." Jasper County Police Department used Mikey Hiddle to start making phone calls to Garrett Kurtz. Mikey Hiddle pretended to want to buy Nicole Bowen's car from Garrett. That was all recorded. Garrett is giving details to Mikey Hiddle about what he did by himself to Nicole Bowen. So Detective Rowe has now come back in and is telling Garrett, "Hey, listen to this and explain yourself." Garrett having no idea that he was being recorded. This is also how Garrett got arrested because Mikey Hiddle basically set him up for a meet to get this car. And instead of Mikey Hiddle showing up, the police showed up and Garrett tried to run in Nicole's car. So this is the second car that Garrett has stolen in a second murder that he's committed.
Loosen this one up.
I don't think I got. I think I got one. Probably tightened up or something. Take your hand. I don't think I got the lock. All right, Gary, tell me who this is. This conversation, who's it between?
I think so, yeah. I ain't positive, but well, dude, it says 2 miles northwest of fucking Kellen. I just read it again, and that's like fucking right down the road. Like right down the road, past me. I figured you were lost or something. Here. Hey, no, wait a minute. Do I have to? Should I?
That's why Chris is down south.
Did we not come in here? Did I not come in here and sit here and say, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt? We already know answers.
I don't know if my life's on the line too. That's what
You need to start talking because the rest of this video, the audio recording, is you with the body.
I didn't have no body. No, that's
Let's play it.
the body.
Use the interior of that car. If it was done in the car, I don't want to use the interior. I'll just use the rest of the shit, you know?
See, I know what was going on. I was not.
You want to keep listening because it gets very detailed.
I know.
Then start talking before you hit play again.
When we got there that night,
What night?
when we first got there,
What night?
what day was that? Does it have messenger on it so I can look so I can make it up and sure?
No. I know answers. I'm still gauging how truthful you're going to be. The next time I catch you in a lie, you can tell the jury that I'll tell them you had no remorse. I gave you chance after chance after chance to say I messed up. I cared for her, and that's why she wasn't thrown somewhere else, because I wanted her to be found. But if you're going to keep playing this game, just be truthful.
Can I say what I'm going to say, and then you tell me if you think that I'm lying or not?
I just need you to be truthful.
I am.
Are you remorseful?
I am. That's what
Are you remorseful?
I didn't commit this myself.
Okay, are you remorseful?
Yes,
Are
I'm
you sorry?
remorseful. Yes.
Okay, then start being truthful. That's it. That's it. Don't worry if I think you're a liar or not. Just be truthful, because that's only going to help you.
What I was going to say was I didn't kill her myself.
Okay, tell me what happened.
When we were getting our, and what I meant by that is like I didn't fucking, it wasn't my call, it wasn't my hands doing the fucking, we got up there and we were supposed to do our tattoos and shit. Jasmine, I was sitting on the couch with Nicole, and Chris was there, Ashley was there, a woman by the name of Talitha was there. And that's like my second mom. That's the reason why I didn't bring her name up, because this isn't her. She had nothing to do with any of it.
Talitha?
Yeah, she had nothing to do with any of it.
White girl?
She's white.
Okay.
I know that's a lot of people say
Keep
it.
going.
Ashley and Nicole started yelling at each other. And I grabbed Ashley to get her. When I grabbed Ashley, it was because I didn't want them to get into a fight. I care about both of them. When I grabbed Ashley and I pulled her back, Chris put her in a chokehold. And when he put her in a chokehold, I didn't know what to do.
Nicole was in a chokehold.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. And at that point, my first thought is, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? And three is not just why is it happening, but why does this have to be this way? Well, because they started yelling at each other. Chris had dope on him. Jasmine's got a warrant. And when he did that, I mean, I grabbed Ashley and I hugged her as close as I could, and I pulled her and I had my eyes closed. And when I heard her go, "Ugh," and when it was, I opened my eyes, and she was on the floor. And I think it was a tie or a bandana he was tying around her neck.
Who's he?
Chris.
This is at lot 20, Jasmine's house.
Am I in any trouble? I'll keep going. I will keep going.
I want you to keep going, because this is the thing. If you're saying your hands weren't around her that did it, then I would hope that you want to give your side, because if not, you're there. Does that make sense? I'm not an attorney, but I'm telling you, the truth goes a lot further than if you lie and we discover that you're lying.
Can I ask you this? Will you guys give me the opportunity to work with you to find out where Chris is?
Let's get through the story first.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go to plan B and plan C. So, Chris is there. You're saying a scarf. What did the scarf look like?
It was like a cheetah print, almost. It was like a silk material.
Okay, where'd that scarf come from?
It was on the lamp. I remember because Ashley asked Jasmine about it a couple hours before, because she was like, "Oh, that's real nice. Where'd you get that at?" And Jasmine said that her kids got it for her.
Okay.
And when I let go of Ashley, I opened my eyes because I wanted to see what the fuck was going on. For all I knew, I was next.
So you're saying he just grabbed her?
He had syringes. He had dope on him, and I use it every once in a while, but I haven't for a few days. There's a pipe in the car, and
Don't worry about that. I get it. Drug use goes in and out of the house. Okay. But he grabs her literally like
when he
this.
grabbed her like this.
Okay. What? To separate them?
I think that's what his intention was. that was what my intention was, because I grabbed Ashley. I mean, that's from Ashley's fingernail right there.
Okay.
When I grabbed her, so was that bruise. When I grabbed Ashley, she was trying to get away from me, and I had her, when I grabbed Ashley, I had her underneath her arms, and she put her hands up like this. I'm like, babe, stop. Because I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to fight, and not to mention, I don't want the cops coming there. Because I don't want to get busted with dope. If it's somebody else's pocket, that's all of us going in trouble.
I get it.
When he grabbed Nicole up, at first it looked like he was trying to put her in a full Nelson, like put her arms behind his head, but when he grabbed her, he went like this, and he just started wrapping up, and I closed my eyes. And the next thing I know, she was gone.
So what's that mean? She was still standing, she was on the ground?
She was on the floor. She was on the floor behind the... Okay, can I stand up?
Yeah.
If you're standing in the kitchen when you go in the doorway, there's island right here, there's a love seat kind of right here, and then there's a full on couch right here in front of you. It happened over here behind the love seat. And when they went from the counter, I missed this, but they went from the counter, and I don't really know if she tried to put a fire on it. I heard like kind of a struggle, and they fell on a tote in the living room behind the couch. And when I opened up my eyes, she was tying that scarf around her neck, and I was trying to clean out my car, and I had all this, like, I do a bunch of work, like side work and shit, and I had like 2 new rolls of, like, red double-sided tape for my taillight. It was on Nicole's car, because when I was dating Nicole, she got rear-ended, and that's what happened. The bumper was already fucked up, but the taillight was busted, and I put
I just seen the comment in here about you didn't expect the full Nelson. So, and Travis says, not sure the scarf, why then. I think, so, hold on. Why isn't this adding to the stage? Hold on.
Do you think that he put the scarf around Nicole's neck because he knew Ashley had touched it?
No, and here's the crazy thing. Ashley swears to God she never touched the scarf. She knew the scarf was on the table next to where she was sitting for that entire day. She had cigarettes and something to drink sitting there on that same table, but and I guess that's the one thing about Ashley that I've always said is that if she's done something that she shouldn't have, she'll tell you. And she's like, yeah, I fucked up. I mean, that's just the kind of person that she is. But at the same time, she's the same on the opposite direction. Like, I'm like, are you sure? And she says, no, I don't ever remember touching the scarf. However,
why did he kill her with the electrical cord and then put the scarf over her?
Hold on a second. Why is this not okay? Something's not working right here. I'm trying to remove this. What? This is not letting me remove it. So here's the thing. I don't know what Garrett, I don't know if it was the tweaker mentality of it all, but in his next interrogation, he describes emphatically going and getting the extension cord. He's asked distinctively, where did you get it from? He says, from behind the TV. He's then asked, what was it plugged into? He says the surround sound. He got the goddamn extension cord. He knew what it was plugged into. Then over top of the extension cord, he tied the scarf. Now, when they came in, and what he's describing right here, like by the counter, by this, by that, they walk in. Him, Talitha, and Nicole walk in. Ashley's back in the bedroom with Jasmine. She hears his voice. This is what she's told me. I heard his voice. So she got up like, this motherfucker, I want to go home. She walks out. Talitha's nowhere to be seen because Talitha went straight to the bathroom in the hallway. Nicole is standing at the counter in the kitchen, and so is Garrett. Nicole sees Ashley, and she says, what the fuck is she doing here? Ashley has the same reaction, like, what is going on? Then Talitha comes out of the bathroom. Ashley, in her mind, is like, okay, I'm in trouble. Because Nicole had been threatening her. She knew Talitha didn't like her. She didn't know why, but we know now why, because Talitha was also sleeping with Garrett. And Nicole came at her. Nicole hit her. So Ashley grabbed her by both hands by her hair. Nicole is swinging. Nicole gives Ashley a black eye. And Garrett swoops in and grabs Nicole in a full Nelson, pretty much. And hang on a second. Okay, so why is this not adding to the stage? Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to pull this up here for you. So, I got to take something out of here and then add it back because I have too much stuff in here. So Ashley grabs her by her hair. Nicole's swinging. Ashley gets a little bit of a black eye under her left eye. Garrett swoops her up. Ashley pretty much freaks out, stands there like, what the fuck is going on? Garrett's not letting her go. Garrett starts screaming at Ashley to help him. Ashley's like, froze, I'm not doing shit. And then she turns around and she runs to the bedroom. Whatever he does to Nicole at that point in time, he does. And then he comes back into the bedroom and he's screaming at Ashley and he hits her in front of Talitha. Talitha discusses all of this in her, because Garrett at this point has already confessed. This is just the first interview. By the time that Talitha has come in on the 11th to turn herself in, she's already talked to Garrett. She's already talked to Jason Palladino. She knows Garrett has confessed. She's just literally up in arms about who she's going to side with. Okay, hang on a second. I want to pull these pictures in here really fast, guys. Sorry. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Okay, so here's one that lets me pull it in. This is not letting me add anything. I'm probably going to have to do it after the video is over. For some reason, I'm having issues with this pulling in. But I have pictures of Garrett's arm and his forearm 5 days after this incident. That's black and blue from him putting Nicole in a full Nelson and strangling her to death. I believe that when he swooped in and he grabbed Nicole, he choked her to death right there. And when he put her down on the ground, he didn't know whether or not she was dead, so he started tying things around her throat.
Didn't he tie whatever was around her neck? Did I read that right when it said that he tied it underneath the couch?
So I don't know. I don't think that he says that. I think that's something that Talitha said. And first it was Garrett picked up the couch and put the extension cord under the leg of the couch, or it was he told Ashley to do it. There's like a whole bunch of different versions of that. However, let's be clear. Nicole is laying on the floor. She's clearly dead. She's tied around the neck with an extension cord and a scarf. She's hog-tied. Why would she then need to be looped like in a noose and it be attached to the leg of a chair of a couch?
One of the other interrogations, he talks about her coming back to life. He doesn't want her to be brain dead. Do you think he was scared that he hadn't got it done? Like she was all doped up and maybe
That's
she
why
was.
he said he tied the extension cord and the scarf around her neck, was because he didn't want her to come to and then be brain dead. I think that she was already gone.
Do you think he was
And
scared that she would
you
come
look
back
at
and
his,
run?
I don't know. Run where? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
But my thing is that you look at his arms and the photographs of the damage to his arms. He choked her to death with his arm. I don't know if he planned all of this. I believe that it was a situation that he created, and I don't know the truth behind it. I've always thought that Garrett was a peon. He never had nothing of his own, didn't have a house, didn't have a car. He always wanted to fit in, and he wanted to be a part of the Paladinos, little, powerhouse group. So when he claimed that Jason Palladino ordered him to kill Nicole Bowen because she was going to snitch on their drug operation, I never ever thought it was Garrett's drug operation. I thought it was, if anyone had a drug operation, it was Jason. But I think that it could be a numerous amount of reasons in Garrett's mind. But however, as soon as we're done with this interrogation video, I'm going to read a letter that Talitha Beckley wrote that gives you some more insight into what was going on behind the scenes, and you guys can decide for yourself what you think. And Mama Bear, he knew exactly what was going to happen if he took Nicole there. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew that he was going to be walking into a pissed off Ashley because she had been left there. He knew what he had done to her. They weren't together. And it pisses me off to this day that Ashley went into Lafayette still trying to protect this man who had beat her numerous times. I think it's just the battered woman syndrome, where he was my boyfriend and this is the girl he was cheating on me with. But in all of the evidence that I have, they had not been together. There's no way they could have been together. How is he being arrested for violating a restraining order twice in February, running around with Nicole, being engaged with Nicole, going over to Ray's, being at the Paladinos? Where does Ashley fit into any of that? She doesn't.
A double-sided tape on my taillight, and it's red tape. Didn't know what to do.
And he's lying. There was no red tape. There was clear tape, and there was brown tape, and there was duct tape. There was no red tape.
And at that point, my first thought is, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? And three is not just why is it happening, but why does this have to be this way? Well, because they started yelling at each other. Chris had dope on him. Jasmine's got a warrant.
Listen to all of these details he's throwing out. You cannot believe his words when he says, after all of this, when he finds out that Ashley is telling on him, that Ashley handed him an extension cord, and then it went from she handed him the extension cord, he tied it, but when we get to trial a year later, it now turns into Ashley got the extension cord, he tied it, and then Ashley pulled on it so fucking tight it broke. First of all, I want you guys to do an experiment and tie an extension cord around anything in your house and pull on it so tight that you can snap an extension cord, an indoor extension cord, that you have the strength of a man or a woman that you can break this extension cord just by pulling on it so hard. That became the story a year later. And yet she pulled on this extension cord so hard and tight, yet her DNA is not on it. Just saying.
And when he did that, I mean, I grabbed Ashley and I hugged her as close as I could, and I pulled her and I had my eyes closed. And when I heard her go, "Ugh," and when it was, I opened my eyes, and she was on the floor. And I think it was a tie or a bandana he was tying around her neck.
Who's he?
Chris.
This is at lot 20, Jasmine's house.
Am I in any trouble? I'll keep going. I will keep going.
I want you to keep going because this is the thing. If you're saying your hands weren't around her that did it, then I would hope that you want to give your side. Because if not, you're there. Does that make sense? I'm not an attorney, but I'm telling you, the truth goes a lot further than if you lie and we discover that you're lying.
Can I ask you this? Will you guys give me the opportunity to work with you to find out where Chris is?
Let's get through the story first.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go to plan B and plan C. So, Chris's area, you're saying a scarf. What did the scarf look like?
It was like a cheetah print, almost. It was like a silk material.
Okay, where'd that scarf come from?
It was on the lamp. I remember because Ashley asked Jasmine about it a couple hours before because she was like, "Oh, that's real nice. Where'd you get that at?" And Jasmine said that her kids got it for her.
Okay.
And when I...
Now, that part is true. And Ashley says that part is true. And Ashley also says that since her trial, leading up to her trial, she only got to watch this interrogation video once. Since this interrogation video was never played at her trial. Since then, her and I have gone over this extensively. And when she heard Garrett tell this version of events, she cried like she always does. But she said that what he's describing happened, that he's claiming Chris did, is exactly what he did. And when she heard him point out that Ashley liked that scarf on the table, and Ashley asked Jasmine, "Where did you get that?" And she said, "My kids gave it to me." She said, "Yes, that did happen. When the scarf was on the table that first night they got there, she's like, 'Oh, this is pretty. Where did you get it?' She said, 'My kids got it for me.'" So this is another piece of real information that Garrett is pulling into his story to make it sound believable. But Ashley still to this day swears to God she never touched it. She saw it, she asked about it, but she never touched it. But it was a piece that Garrett grabbed in the midst of all of this and tied around Nicole's neck.
Well, I let go of Ashley and I opened my eyes because I didn't want to see what the fuck was going on. For all I knew, I was next.
So you're saying he just grabbed her?
He had syringes, he had dope on him, and I use it every once in a while, but I haven't for a few days. There's a pipe in the car, and...
Don't worry about that. I get it. Drug use goes in and out of the house, okay? But he grabs her literally like this?
When he grabbed her like this.
Okay, what, to separate them?
I think that's what his intention was. That was what my intention was, because I grabbed Ashley. I mean, that's from Ashley's fingernail right there.
Okay.
When I grabbed her, so was that bruise. When I grabbed Ashley, she was trying to get away from me, and I had her, when I grabbed Ashley, I had her underneath her arms, and she put her hands up like this. I'm like, "Babe, stop, stop, stop." Because I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to fight, and not to mention, I don't want the cops coming there. Because I don't want to get busted with dope. If it's in someone else's pocket, that's all of us going in trouble.
I get it.
When he grabbed Nicole up, at first it looked like he was trying to put her in a full Nelson, like put her arms behind his head, but when he grabbed her, he went like this, and he just started wrapping up, and I closed my eyes. And the next thing I know, she was gone.
So what's that mean? She was still standing, she was on the ground?
She was on the floor. She was on the floor behind the... Okay, can I stand up?
Yeah.
If you're standing in the kitchen when you go in the doorway, there's Island right here, there's like a love seat kind of right here, and then there's a full on a couch right here in front of you. It happened over here behind the love seat. And when they went from the counter, I missed this, but they went from the counter, and I don't really know if she tried to put a fire on it. I heard like kind of a struggle, and they fell on a tote in the living room behind the couch. And when I opened up my eyes, she was tying that scarf around her neck, and I was trying to clean out my car, and I had all this, like, I do a bunch of work, like side work and shit, and I had like 2 new rolls of, like, red double-sided tape for my taillight. It was on Nicole's car, because when I was dating Nicole, she got rear-ended, and that's what happened. The bumper was already fucked up, but the taillight was busted. And I put double-sided tape on my taillight, and it's red tape. And it was in the trailer, like not inside the house, but in the back of it when you first walk in the door. Because when you open up, there's a wooden, first there's a wooden door here. It looks like it's going to open. If you go there, there's a window that's like broke out on the bottom, and there's a screen that kind of floats in the air. You have to crawl, like go under through that way. The front door of the house it looks like, if you pull in, it looks like nobody lives there, because she has a warrant and shit. The front door is padlocked from the outside. You have to go through the back door. When you go underneath that one thing, when you crawl underneath that and you step in, you got to go to this way to get to the door of the trailer.
Okay, so take me from where she was laying by the sofa or the love seat, and he was putting a scarf around her neck. What was the point in that? Was she still alive?
I think so. She was unconscious. I don't know. I don't know if she was breathing or not.
Was she making noise?
No.
Okay, so you don't know, but she wasn't making noise.
I don't see when. I don't know. I've seen movies and stuff. I don't know if somebody's unconscious if they're still breathing. If they go, because I don't know. I don't know if her throat was.
So you heard her do that?
Yeah, I heard her do that when he was still choking.
Okay, so
when he took the scarf, she didn't make any noise. When he tied that scarf, she made no noise at all.
Okay, take me from there.
He got a blanket from outside of the trailer, like in the back part.
Where at?
Where you go in at. There was a bunch of old clothes and boxes and shit.
Literally within that like little porch thing of the trailer, not off property.
No,
it's within the trailer.
It's within the trailer. When you go through that window, there's shit everywhere. Fucking shoe boxes, broken plastic. Mm-hmm. He went outside there, grabbed a blanket, and he rolled her up in it.
What color?
Gray.
Okay.
When he rolled her up in that blanket, and he rolled her up, and then me and Ashley went in the bedroom and sat down, and I hear plastic crackling and almost like duct tape being pulled, and then he yelled and he said, "Where's the keys?" I said, "To what?" And he said, "Never mind, because the keys were on the counter to her car." And when he left, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if he was coming back or not. And when he came back, I got all my clothes, except for Ashley's backpack still at the trailer. It's got my grandma's engagement ring that she gave me to give to her that passed away. My grandma just passed away like 2 months ago. I went inside to grab all the clothes and stuff and put them in the car. And I took Chris back to his mom's, and I got the fuck out of here. And I should have told you guys. I should have called and I should have said something.
Okay. So who helped him roll her up and wrap her up and tape her up?
Jasmine, to my knowledge. I was not putting my hands on that whatsoever.
Did you see him wrap anything else around her neck?
No.
Nothing.
Other than the scarf.
Okay. And so, did your car leave or did you take him?
My car left. He left.
The Scion.
Nicole's car left. I did not go with him.
The Scion.
The Scion.
And what time of night was this?
Probably 1, 2, or 2:30.
In the morning?
Yeah. It was still dark.
On what night?
See, that's it.
I don't want to get off topic.
No, I'm not going to get off topic, but when I was there, I was high. So it's kind of hard for me to dictate or determine what day
If you
that
don't
was.
know 100%, then let's skip that.
That's the truth.
What time do you return?
He came back, like, it was almost daylight. I mean, people were getting up to go and leaving for work.
What's going on?
Not, it wasn't necessarily daylight yet, but you could, people in the trailer park were being active. It's still dark, starting their cars, getting ready for work.
So you're saying he's the only one that left?
Yes.
No one else in that car?
Do we need to play this recording again?
Recording.
No, just this is what we want you to listen to.
I know, I said that, but I know I was not in that vehicle.
Who's the conversation between?
That's between me and Mike.
Okay. I just want you to listen.
And I said we got
Listen,
lost.
just listen.
I know, I did not say that.
Listen.
Right.
Waiting until I. What?
When I said that, because when he said, when Mike asked me, when we were on the phone, he said, was Mathis involved? I said no. Because for all, I don't know if he's, like, if I say this, and say if I go to, like, if we went to the witness stand and I said I had nothing to do with it and it was all him, which is the truth, if I say that, I don't know what kind of people he knows. I've known Chris for a couple of years, but I talked to him today and it was an 891 number that called my phone. It's in my call history.
Today?
Yes, he said.
We'll get to that. Let's finish this.
Yeah. Right. That's what's up. Fucking traffic. Keep going, motherfucker.
I watched my ass. There ain't nothing there.
There was
I'm fucking have anybody with me to do that shit. I want to make sure everything's fucking legit, everything gets done, and there ain't no fucking way.
Wait.
I wash my ass. I don't want anyone else with me. When I do that type of shit, I won't be by
I knew that's what
myself.
came out of my mouth, but that was bullshit because Mike.
So you're admitting to doing something
No,
that you didn't do?
I'm not admitting to doing something I didn't do. I'm trying to fucking cover my ass and make it look like it was just me because I'm for real. This is the God's honest truth.
So
If
you
you
were-
check the back of that car, there was no
You were
place
trying to
it.
put this shit on you because you're afraid of some little doper? And you were putting it on you?
He's affiliated with some kind of fucking, I've had my mom's life threatened several times.
You throw it on him to keep it off of you, I understand, but you taking responsibility for something he did?
I wouldn't throw anything. If I did that, I would admit to it. Because my dad
You
always
did,
taught me.
right there.
I didn't do that though. What I'm saying, I didn't.
You just said you had somebody with you, though. You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You were mentioning Chris, and then you said, I did it alone. Just listen.
I want to make sure everything's fucking legit, everything gets done,
Make sure things,
all that shit's out of there.
Yeah.
And I just wait till going back up.
Right. That's what's up. Fucking traffic. Keep going,
Like I
motherfucker.
said, bro, I watched my ass. There ain't nothing there. I'm a lone wolf, so I don't fucking have anybody with me to do that shit. I want to make sure everything's fucking legit, everything gets done, and there ain't no fucking way.
Well, you just said you had somebody with you, though. You know?
Yeah, that's one of my dirty brothers, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved the same. I mean, I wouldn't take anybody, I'm not saying I wouldn't stick anybody that gets my sidekick because he
Right.
basically, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I just fucking. I was like, man, I don't understand that. So close, I didn't understand it whatsoever. I was like, that's fucking just dumb. I was asking for it. I don't
know where the fuck I'm at.
Exactly what I figured. You know, I didn't think you knew that.
It was dark, but I
I understand. I know.
nowhere. I mean, I took backwards over there.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one last chance, man. Everything is I took back roads. I went by an excavator. That was right there by the road, because we looked at that.
If you weren't there, you wouldn't know that detail.
You were there. Then this is the thing, it's either you were sorry it happened. I understand if Nicole and your girlfriend got into an argument or got something because it was out of passion. She upset somebody. But at the same time, the person that put her body in there had enough respect for her, they wanted her found. And they put her inside the container. You need to be truthful because it's there. And we're going to just keep working it from this point and find every piece of evidence against you. Just be truthful, and the prosecutor understands that. The family will get some closure, that it was a mistake. If you guys were high, I get it. But to say, I did all these details that only us and the person there knows.
Everybody that was there that night was high. I didn't touch. When we, okay, it was me and Chris in the vehicle. If I'm on my messenger, I can show you voice messages of me saying that your name and whatever is on it.
You just need to be truthful. I've already given you the evidence, you know what I'm saying? And you're not saying anything until I present it. So you need to start being truthful.
Hear me out. We pulled out of the trailer park that night, and Chris was driving, and we went driving. And when you said that you wanted her body to be found, I did want her body to be found.
I said you wanted your body to be found. I know.
Chris is like, man, he's like, where can I put her without anybody finding her? He's like, I don't want my he goes, I don't want my fingerprints to be found or nothing like that. And I said, I don't know, I'm not from here. And the only thing I can think of is I'm trying to make it sound, and I said, when I turned my right, I seen that fucking weeds with that trailer, and I seen that yellow thing over there. And I said, if he doesn't see that thing, there's this right here.
You saw what thing?
That excavator thing.
Okay.
Obviously, the excavator's right there, this road's being used. So I mean, somebody is gonna come over here.
So you're wanting her to be found.
So when he drug her from the car to the thing, he had me watch. And I can remember when he grabbed her out of the car and took her to that thing, I was standing on the passenger side door when I'm looking, and like the whole time I can see a highway or a roadway going this way to my left, and I can see headlights, and I can hear cars in the distance. I can't tell how far away they are, I can't tell where they are, but I can see, I can tell where they are, but I can't tell where they are, like if they're going north, south, east, or west. So the whole time I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna be found, she's gonna be found. And that's the truth.
So who drove?
Chris drove.
And where were you at?
I was in the passenger seat.
Front?
Yes,
Where was the body at?
in the trunk.
Where did the plastic bags and tape and everything come from?
Chris pulled them out from Jasmine's, because when me and Nicole Ashley's middle name is Nicole. When me and Ashley went to the bedroom, I heard plastic. The only thing I can remember trash bags being when Jasmine said, like earlier, she said, I need a trash bag. So Chris had went underneath the kitchen sink and grabbed her a trash bag because she was sweeping up the kitchen floor. That trailer was disgusting.
So everything should have came from within the trailer.
Yes.
Did you have anything in your car that he used?
See, I haven't had that car the whole time. When I got the car today, I got all my clothes and everything.
Was there anything in the car that
I
you
want to say-
grabbed or he grabbed?
I want to say that everything's out of there, but there's a couple trash bags, but the duffel bag is mine and Ashley's clothes.
When you wrapped the body up, did you guys grab anything out of your car to wrap the body up with?
But he wrapped the body up at the trailer.
Okay, was anything taken out of the car to wrap the body up?
I'm aware.
Okay. Did you and him carry Nicole out?
No.
Who
He
carried
drug her with a...
No, from the trailer to the car.
He drug her with a belt by her neck to the car.
Like a jean belt.
It was like a combat looking, like almost like a, not the ones that you guys wear with like the snap on them,
Yeah.
but it's got like 3 holes, or 4 holes and 2 things on each one, and it was like that. And he drove her to the car.
Like a female's belt?
No, it was like a men's belt, but it was a thick, real thick, like real, what's that polyester material?
What color?
Blue, I think.
Okay. So how did he take her out of the trailer?
He drug her down the doorway to the steps, and there's a little, like a, what's that, I think it's a Costco chair. And you guys probably remember them. I was a kid when they first came out. I remember my mom used to have one like that. It's a seat, but where the legs are, there's a thing that pulls out, and it's got 2 steps on it. Okay. He stepped up on that, and when he did, he pulled her up, and he got her front half in the car first, and he jumped down and he stuffed her back half in the car, and he put her feet down, and he covered her up with a blanket, and I covered her up this way with the other half, and he told me to get in the car.
In the trunk. So you're saying he pulled that little step stool out and stood on that?
He stepped on that thing.
To put her in the trunk? Okay.
When he got her out, he wrapped that belt around her neck and kind of hurts to talk about it because he jerked her out of the trunk and let her flop on the ground. So where the car was parked at, there's probably going to be, hair or
So
something.
where's that belt at?
I don't know.
Okay.
He grabbed it whenever he got done with it, but I don't know. I don't think it's not in the car.
You parked on the road, you didn't pull in the field.
He pulled into the field.
How far do you pull in the field?
So so there was like a fence there, did you pull in by that fence?
Yeah, he pulled in next to the gate, wherever that.
Yeah, there's a lock gate there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's Detective Rowe something. You said you were describing how he put her in the trunk, so you watched him drag her out. I mean, obviously you saw the steps. Did you help him at any point in time? Obviously, it sounds pretty difficult to get in that add-on part of the house. Did you?
Well, that door opens.
Okay.
That door opens. It's just got a lock from the inside. It's got a little latch on it. It's not screwed shut or anything.
So you can't open it from the outside, but
But
once
you can
you're
open
inside.
it. Yeah, it's just like the door. It looks like it's padlocked, but you can still open it from the inside.
What did Chris have to say today when you talked to him?
When I talked to Chris today, he said, "Where are you at?" And I said, "I was in Delphi." And he said that Detective Rowe, which I assume is you, there's no other Detective Rowe. He said that you were, and I don't know what your name, I can't remember what your name is.
Wilson.
Wilson?
Yep.
He said that Detective Rowe and some other guy, which I don't think that's the name he told me, was on the, what's that? It was under investigation by you and somebody else, and there's no suspects yet, and he was down by Crawfordsville, and I needed to go pick him up, and we needed to leave town. But he said that when I called him on the phone, but there's voice messages of him saying that you were on the case and that we needed to get the fuck out of here.
I'm pulling up an aerial view of it so you can show me exactly where you guys stopped and pulled in and stuff like that, okay?
Is there any possibility I could smoke a cigarette?
In a few, yes, in a few.
Can I call my mom?
Not yet. Not yet.
At some point in time, but not right now. So.
If you again are really trying to do the right thing, then let us get that right stuff out first, okay? Let us get what we need to get done first, and
I know that I didn't do it, and I wasn't accessory to it or whatever. I mean, but I feel like it's my fault because if I wouldn't have took her up there that night with me and Ashley trying to get her out of Lafayette, because I didn't have any intention of getting high that night. I was just trying to
remember
go
how
have a good
I
time.
initially asked you, was she with you and Ashley?
I know, I should have told you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
If we don't know answers to the questions we're asking, then what's the point? Right? Because we're just going to go in a circle
Yeah.
all freaking day.
I mean,
I use those to gauge how truthful you're going to be, and you're failing bad. A lot of questions I asked you already
I
knew.
could see that.
Okay, so, but we're past that. We're past that. I forget it already. So from this point forward, we just need to figure this stuff out. We need to find out where Chris is at. Okay? I don't think you can see too well in this because it's during the summer. Do you know what road you were on? You guys don't?
Honestly, I don't know what road we were on. Way here in the daylight, I got fucking lost.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, real quick. I just wanted to pull these up since I got them to work. Let me get there. So in here, I have the pictures of Garrett's arms. That's the result of the full Nelson that he claims Chris Mathis put Nicole in. That is the result of a scarf he claimed, well, a scarf and a cord that he claimed Ashley tied around her neck. You guys, and these pictures are from 5 days later. And this bottom one right here in the middle of the tattoo, that's a tooth mark. And then he tries in his second interview to tell Detective Rowe that these bruises were from Ashley hitting him. What do you guys think of these pictures? Do you guys think that these pictures are just streets? Cherie?
They're kind of old, so I mean, it's hard to tell, but I mean, obviously that's a puncture wound, so something bit him, or yeah, I mean, that's a puncture wound.
Well, in her autopsy, it did say that she had like an abrasion in her mouth, to the side of her mouth. But I'm talking about I'm mainly talking about the bruising. And these photographs were taken 5 days after the fact. Actually, 6 days. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty extensive bruising if it's 5 days after.
Yeah.
See that trailer at nighttime? Did he know it was there? He did.
Chris said that he used to hunt out there or something when he was younger, or he knew somebody that used to hunt out there.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be the,
Okay.
that would be the container, okay?
Okay.
So you see.
Right here is where the gate's at, right?
No, it's actually right there. That's an actual road.
That's the actual road?
The gate would be,
That's the path to that cabin in the back. So
yeah, but that's an actual.
Well, see, there's a gate there, right?
yeah, there's a gate there.
He pulled it. It was right next to the
But this is an entrance right there.
It was right there.
And then there's just open grass.
Pulled up like this far.
Okay, so you're thinking he'd pull up that entrance there?
Yeah,
Straight in, backed in,
straight in.
okay? Headlights on, headlights off,
He shut everything off.
Before you even pulled in there?
Yeah.
okay? And then you stood, so the car is facing this way, just like you said, okay? Driver, passenger, and you said you stood at the passenger door. So over here. Is that what you did? Right here.
I followed him. No. I followed him near the container. And I watched the road the whole time. But when he was first like looking around, getting the trunk open and stuff, because to get the trunk open you have to crawl through the back of the car. When he was getting the trunk open and shit, I was watching. And that's the whole reason what made me feel comfortable about her being found, is because I wanted her to be found.
I understand.
She's got babies.
I understand that, and she does. She's got at least 2 that I see. So you have to climb through the back seat to unlock the trunk?
No, I don't have to crawl through the back.
Somebody.
Chris has to. Chris crawled through the back of the because the trunk's got a little latch on it, and
So apparently it don't work from inside the car.
No, it doesn't have one from inside the car.
So did you help him carry the body from there to the container?
Yes.
I know you did. Because you wanted to make sure she was in there and you guys laid her down on the floor.
Yes. And
Dude, I can't. I keep catching you in lies,
this is the
man.
last time I'm going to lie to you. I just want to know that. I don't know. I just want to know my mom is going to be able to see her son again.
You keep doing this? Never. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to trick you, dude. I'm just asking you to be truthful.
When I helped him carry her in there, I put her in the container as closest to not being as far back as she could be as possible. And when I set her down, or we set her down, I tried to set her down as gently as possible in the most comfortable way that I could.
Did you carry the head or the feet?
I carried the head.
And which way? Where was the head and feet in the container?
I want to say,
This is the container at the back door where you came in?
yeah.
We know how she was positioned.
When our head would have been facing the back.
You would have went head first.
So you walked in that container backwards.
Yes.
Say anything to her when you laid her down?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'm just asking.
I know that when I got to the car and we got in, I said a silent prayer to myself, and I said, God forgive me. And every time I've attempted to try to sleep since then, I've said a prayer that she was, okay.
So what was your feeling when you seen the press release that she was found?
Relief.
Did you feel some closure?
I felt some closure, but I also felt some, closure, but then again I felt guilty, because if I would have never brought her up here to have a good time, and the intention to come up here was just getting tattoos done there, but I was going to hang out and chill, and that fucking shit happened.
I want to get a picture of Chris, so you can tell me that's who Chris is. There could be 12 Chris.
He's got 3 or 4 Facebooks, but I have the one on my phone that it's not the one that was Chris Shanning or Shanning Mathis. It's not that one. It's another one every other fucking day. So I'm having a hard time to remember what his first name is, but the last one was Mathis. But he said, when he sent me that voice message a day, he said, let's just stay off of Facebook. So he was sending voice messages and shit, but your name came up, and then he said, I sent him my phone number and told him to call me, and when he called me, he said, save this number, but I never did, but it was an 891 number. And he said he was down by Whitestown, Lebanon, and Crawfordsville, which is that's really all the same area. They're only like 12 miles from each other.
And what connections does he have down there?
I don't know. I think just a girl he's staying with or something. But he said that his mom was, actually the voice message or whatever, it said in that, he said, my mom will give me all the information and all the sources you need to get the fuck out of here.
You mean his mom, the one that probably lives in Kentland?
Yeah, I think. I don't even know if that's his mom. I've never met her. He just says it's his mother's house.
What's he look like?
Chris? Mm-hmm. Red hair, short, chin straps, or either a beard, and he's kind of dressed as
You got pre-sims on you? You got pre-sims on your phone?
I do not.
and he dresses a weird, like gangster. I mean, when I dress with either tennis shoes on, I try to have my pants up as high as I can.
So after that night, which we really need to dial that in after we get some of these details figured out, or allow you the opportunity to say your side. You left that morning, like, what did everybody else in the trailer do? Like, you guys just literally had a body inside the trailer that some of you guys cared for. See, take her out there. What did everybody do after that?
Jasmine was acting like everything was fine.
Okay.
Like nothing.
What about the other ones?
Talitha that's him.
Yeah.
It upset Talitha, but I mean, she didn't really want to talk about it, and I understand that.
I'm not saying this is him or not. Okay, it's not like a photo lineup. You named him, so I'm just asking you.
Yeah, that's Christopher. That's definitely Christopher.
Is that the one that
yes.
You're saying killed Nicole? Screenshot that. So how was everybody that morning? I get Jasmine, Dad, who gives a shit, move on. Who else? What did the other one say?
Chris acted like nothing even happened.
Okay.
Ashley she didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to think about it. So it upset her too, because she knew it upset me.
Okay.
I didn't know whether to cry, scream, kick shit, or just sit down and act like nothing was going on.
Okay. What about that Tati on
Talitha?
Yeah.
She was really upset.
So where did everybody go? You guys, tell me what you did from that point then.
I left. I took Chris to hang on.
I said, don't think about answers, just be truthful.
No, I'm trying to think. When we left, Talitha and Ashley rode with me to go back out to Talitha's to take her back home
Where's Talitha live?
in Delphi. I'm not sure exactly the
Did
exact
you already tell me
address.
that? Did you already give me her last name?
Yeah, Beckley.
What is it?
Beckley.
No, you didn't give me that, okay. B-E-C-K,
L-E-Y.
okay.
No, yeah, L-E-Y.
Keep going.
I took her back home. And when I dropped her off, her boyfriend, we got into an argument because he thought that I was out fucking her and I wasn't. And he didn't know Ashley was in the car because Ashley had the seat leaned back because she was sleeping. Because I got out of the driver's side and let her out. And when she went over to the house, I heard him screaming and yelling at each other. She came outside. She's like, "You need to go before something stupid happens," talking about her boyfriend. And when he started screaming at me, what have you, he's like, "You even out fucking T," which that's T's nickname, that's her nickname. And I said, "No, it ain't even like that, man." And when I said that, he was all pissed off. He had a gun in his hand and he shot at the ground with a pistol. So I got in Nicole's car with that, and me and Ashley got the hell out of there. So after we got out of there, I went and I seen my mom. And I met with my mom. We got a little bit of food, we got some gas. And then from my mom's, we went to my friend Jeff's house. And we just got away for a couple of days. Didn't talk about nothing, didn't think about what had happened. We just, I was trying to spend as much time with her as I could. And, cherish the time I had with her, because I didn't know if anybody knew anything, I didn't know if whatever.
You knew this day was probably gonna come.
And when she had looked on the phone and she seen that, I said, "Babe, I gotta go." She's like, "Why?" I said, I have to go. I didn't really have enough time today whenever this happened because I brought the car up here, and that, when I said that somebody told me to bring the car up here, I mean, they kind of did, because the title's not in the glove box. Like that part was true.
Okay.
And when I called Mike, I was gonna go see my grandma's grave because I was late to my grandma's funeral. Whenever she died, which is like almost
So
2
just
weeks
take-
ago.
And I understand, I'm sorry to hear that, but you left that next morning, so I kind of got how everybody felt.
Yeah.
And then you went down there, you just made some quick stops because you kind of thought that the day might come.
Well, it's not that I was scared that somebody was gonna be on my trail. It's just I wanted to get there and I wanted to relax. And it's not that I just wanted to forget about it, but I wanted to.
Okay, so what day were you down there then to help ID on what day that you guys did this?
Did what? Went to my friend's house?
Jasmine's and everything with Nicole. Because you said you went away for a couple of days. Okay, so we discovered her on Saturday.
Okay, Friday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't give an exact date because we were high. And but if I look on my Facebook, I can probably look and see what day we were there and what have you.
Okay, well I know it wasn't Tuesday.
It had to have been Wednesday. Because we were up here we was up here for a day or two.
So you're believing Wednesday night. And what time again?
When we got back up here, it was like,
No, what time did you take Nicole out there and put her in the container?
oh, that was like, fuck, like 2:30 or 3, something like that.
Okay. And then that next morning you left, and that's when you were hanging low. When did you see the press release on Saturday?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I mean, today's Monday, so I mean, it's either yesterday or Saturday. Okay. Sit tight. I'm gonna take a break, okay? but we need to keep talking to find out maybe where Chris is at and stuff like that.
I'll help you guys in any way I can.
Well, that's all you got right now. Right now, I mean, you really need our help. I already had what I needed. I was just giving you the opportunity to help yourself. So yeah, you really need our help. So it'd only be in your best interest just to be truthful. That's it. I don't want nothing made up. Whether to help or hurt you, nothing. I just want the truth. Let's take a break and then I'll come back in, okay?
What I was going to say was I think I know who has the title right now, other than, I don't think King has it anymore. What if I could get...
I'm not really worried about the title to the car. I mean, honestly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just, because I don't think that that he just did that for no reason. Because he knows a few people about where I am, but Talitha's boyfriend was talking about, he's like, well, Chris told me what happened when I dropped her off, and I don't know how in the hell he could have known that. So I don't know if, you know, if that was like a premeditated type of thing, because Nicole knows Terry, which Terry lives behind Jason, which is where Nicole was staying for a couple of days. When I said I went to Terry's and Russell's to just kind of see her or whatever, Nicole lost her keys one night, and I helped her look for them all, like 4 hours, you know, through the yard, everywhere. When we came back off the porch, they were laying right next to her fucking car. And but when over the events of her looking for her keys, Jason was telling her to get the fuck off the property, and she's like, well, I can't unless I find my keys. And she's like, well, I'll just call the police. And Jason's exact words were, I don't think that'd be a good fucking idea. And I don't know if she called the cops or not, but I know that she did find her keys.
Okay. So you're just saying that Chris needs to explain whether it was premeditated, because apparently either he was running his mouth, kind of bragging, or he had an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? But you're still saying he did it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, give us a break, okay? Drink some water. We'll be back in. It's probably going to be a few days, I don't know, but, I mean, truthfully, you know that you're going to be expecting some charges from our side. I mean, you got to know that that's coming, right? What the specific charges are yet? Don't know. That's up to the prosecutor's office. We just gather facts, okay? That's why I try to reiterate, being truthful goes a long way in that long-term goal, or that long-term plan, your life plan. So I'm hoping that you're only as much truthful as I was forcing you to be, meaning with facts that I already had. But I'm hoping that when we walk out of the room, that you were being truthful with me and you did not have any more involvement. Because I'm just saying, if you did, all you had to do is tell us. But you're saying Chris did that. So we're still on the same level on that.
Yes. Does anybody know how much my bond would potentially be or anything like that?
No, it's definitely over here in this county. I don't know what their bonds are.
What is it exactly, do you know?
No, that's why I said I don't know. It's going to be, the resistance is going to be a low-level felony. A 6 or something, but I don't know what their bond amounts are over here. It's a different county.
Fuck, my mom's gonna fucking kill me.
Okay? But instead of sitting here, you know, all day, I was just making sure that you did not have any further facts that you needed to relay. And we need to clarify that up a little bit about the argument. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Can I still get the cigarette we talked about? Or?
Yeah, let me check with those guys, okay?
Okay.
And there it is. Yeah, you're right, Travis. He was used to getting bonds. Let me just reiterate that he broke into Ashley's house, strangled her, duct taped her. The police officer showed up, saw it all. He bonded out 10 days later, had a restraining order, violated it not once, but twice, while on bond for the initial charge, bonded out each time he violated the restraining order, then was arrested in Tippecanoe County in Ray's car with no license, a syringe, meth, and a scale, bonded out, and then 16 days later commits his second murder. Nick McClelland did a lot of things for a lot of people in Carroll County prior to being a prosecutor. He was a defense attorney for a lot of these people. And Nick McClelland was on this case that Garrett was facing for Ashley's case. And the case drug out for over a year. And there was never, other than Garrett's initial hearing when he was arrested, and the bond being set. Other than that, the case drug on for over a year, and Garrett never was brought back into Carroll County for the case Ashley had against him. And then ultimately the charges were dropped, which made it a big issue at Ashley's trial if that case could even be brought in. Carla Ann, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And I think that if Ashley gets the permission, we have requested permission from the prison for her to come on. Chris got more than 4 because Chris had other charges, and then I think that I think actually Chris. So Chris got 4, and then I think he bonded out, and then got caught he came in to visit someone in jail and brought drugs into the jail. So he was rearrested. Yeah, Chris is a whole nother idiotic nightmare. But if we get permission for Ashley to come on and do some interviews, Ashley has no problem copying to the mistakes that she made, the drug use, and she'll tell you that, the way that she explains it to me is the drug use was a very short period in her life, but during that period, it was heavy. And she knew that it was either get clean or it was going to kill her. And that's why she packed up and moved to Florida. She even went to her family for help. So, but I think hearing it from her, you guys will have a much better understanding of who she is. And like I've said for a long time, since this case started, and she was literally thrown into the whirlwind of the social media nightmare of the Delphi case, no one's ever even heard her voice. And I just think that you guys will all benefit from hearing from her directly. So we are in the process, and Reese didn't care about getting in trouble about coming on and doing a live. He was gung-ho. Ashley is very mindful of the rules where she's at, and she's like, I'm not going to get any kind of conduct violations. She's hopeful that she'll get the permission the right way. So,
Which is fair.
yeah. Travis, we're not going to talk about the pending PCR. We're going to talk about the PTSD and the domestic violence aspect of it. We're not talking anything about the case. She's going to talk about her drug use, and she's going to talk about her PTSD. So, and I'm hoping to get her ma'am to come on too, her grandmother, who's raising her son right now. It's just kind of a technical issue. I know that ma'am doesn't do well with trying to, come on alive and fidget with all of the technologies. So we're working all of that out. But if you missed last night's live about Garrett, we did a deep dive on Garrett. A little bit about to do with this case, a lot of it about to do with Delphi and how he got brought into that and some of the areas of the finger pointing and all of that. We went over that. And then if you haven't listened to the 5-hour live that we did last week on Ashley's case, I would recommend going back and reviewing that. Thanks, Carla Ann, for becoming a new member. Rochelle says, I would want to know how much talking about the plan to kill Nicole and who did he share that with?
He talked to Mikey Hiddle about it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and this is just my understanding of it. And if Ashley gets a new trial, it'll all come out at her new trial. We have not, hybrid Pisces, we have not covered Ray's case fully. We have introduced elements of Ray's case during our coverage of Ashley's case. But I know that Garrett had, I think, made some comments about Nicole in front of Ashley over the course of those 2 days before going to Jasmine's. But again, Ashley wasn't aware about the arrest. Ashley's arrest, or not Ashley's arrest, but Garrett and Nicole's arrest in Ray's car, Ashley didn't know about. And I think that Garrett, like, spouting off at the mouth wasn't something that Ashley really knew what he was like. I don't want to say she didn't take him serious because she knew what he was capable of because he had done it to her. But I think in her mind, it was like a whole like crime of passion type thing. I don't think that she really thought that he would do it to someone else the same way or reasons why he was attacking her. I don't know. But I know that he did make some comments in front of her that she didn't really think were all that serious. But then when she seen him, put her in the full Nelson, I think that then she was like, what the fuck is happening?
Travis is getting feisty.
I see. Yeah, he is a serial strangler for sure.
And there is something different about domestic abusers who use strangulation. Like they're more dangerous than just like a punch you around domestic abuser.
Wasn't it like 700 times more or something?
Yeah,
We
it's really
found
high.
that's, I think when Amy did a video on that at one point, she said that.
What was that?
That it was like like a person who has strangled somebody or, choked their significant other, that person is 700 times more likely to be killed that way or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was I think we did that on the domestic violence video that we did.
Yeah.
He said, I'm talking to myself. When are we going to go over theory brief? What day? You mean when are we going to go over the brief that Pinot just filed? Travis, did you get it? I sent it to you. I was hoping to go over it tomorrow. It's 41 pages if you take into account the facts and all of that, but it's a total of 41 pages. Okay. I thought Pinot did a really good job on it. Do you agree, or do you have some issues? Yeah, Mama Bear. Strangulation is a very personal way to murder someone. And it's a very, yes, he did. I think he did a very good job on that. So we're going to go over that. I'm hoping that we're going to go over that tomorrow as a separate side to the actual case coverage. So I was actually really excited when I got through reading that. I was like, wow, he really went to bat.
It must, and that Ashley is too.
Yeah, well, she hasn't even got to. I mean, 41 pages is a lot to read over, the prison calls.
She
And
hasn't let her
she
have
hasn't
it?
got it yet. No, she
No.
hasn't got it yet. I'm assuming she'll get it this week. So,
I thought it was really good.
yeah, I thought it was really good too. So,
It's almost as if he like listens to you, like your
well,
show. You
no,
put in a
I
lot of
mean,
points that you talk about.
I've shared. John is. He's. I mean, I wish he. I wish I felt he listened to me more. And he might, but he doesn't tell me that he does. I share everything with him, and he responds when he has to. He's a play by the rule kind of guy, and there's a couple of things that I have some complaints about, but overall, I think he's done a good job. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that something comes of this for her sake, because I truly, truly believe that if she gets another trial, she's coming home, and her son desperately needs her right now. He really does. In more ways than one. So there's some things going on that I won't discuss on here, but Ashley she's, when it comes to the family side of things, she's struggling a little bit because her hands are tied, and it sucks all the way around. And there's nothing that we can do until we hopefully get her a new trial. So, anywho, I want to thank everybody for being here. We've been on here for 3.5 hours. I appreciate all of you guys listening,
My
being
boyfriend
here.
is so mad.
Yeah. And it sounds like the rain stopped.
I can see clouds coming over the mountain, so it's about to get cold.
Yes, Travis, you're absolutely right. That's where, Travis is an attorney, and he's always like cracking that legal whip at me. And I'm a sleuther, and it's like everything matters, everything should matter, and it doesn't. And that's, the judicial system. So it's a struggle. It's like a tug of war. And
And that's
it
one of the
sucks.
problems with this case is that there's so many co-defendants, and it happened over the timeline happened over like a few days, and everyone.
And I think that's where I honestly think that's where I've gotten sucked in with this case, because there's so many elements that as a whole, in a trial where you're bringing in all of the evidence, it all matters. But in an appeal and in a post conviction relief, it doesn't. And
I think he
that's
makes the good points, though.
yeah,
The-
he
the-
did. He did.
Yeah,
He did.
I read it to my boyfriend too, and he thought it was. He sits here and listens to all this, so he thinks it's good too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of the elements aren't. So good elements are, but like I said, if we can get over the hump and we can get her a new trial, then that's the game changer.
I think the white hat is huge because he used it in his closing statement, and
Well, and the even more frustrating thing about this white hat is, yeah, if the appellate looks at this at face value, that it wasn't Nicole's hat. However, what is not able to be brought in right now is the fact that the photo of Nicole that was presented at trial, that Garrett testified to as being a photo that was taken the day that she died, was an absolute falsehood. That photo was not taken that day. Nicole was not found in those clothes. And that photo depicts Nicole wearing a stud post nose ring. When she was found, she was wearing a hoop ring in her nose. So the fact that that photo was even allowed to be presented at trial as being a photo taken from the day that she died, because it wasn't challenged by Ashley's attorney, that's why.
he also
And that,
puts it in the brief somewhere, and I think that he did it in to show that I think he was going to start it because he talked about her face being scratched and scabbed, but then he didn't expand further as to why that was important.
yes, and that was one of the things that I pointed out to him that he could use, because and that's the one thing about an appeal and post-conviction relief, you only can go on what's in the record. So, for example, the fact that in Nicole's autopsy they discuss the scabbing and the scarring on Nicole's face, that is not present in the photograph that they presented at trial, of that photograph being taken the same day that Nicole died. There's a big discrepancy. So the fact that he pointed that out is a big deal.
Yeah.
But the nose ring is a dead giveaway. The clothes in the photograph is a dead giveaway. But unfortunately, at trial or in the appeal, it was never brought up.
Yeah.
So that's where we lose that. But my frustration is that John Pinot could have confronted Lori James when he had her on the stand at Ashley's PCR hearing about why she didn't dig into that photograph, why she didn't question the facial scarring and the nose ring and all of that. If he would have questioned her on ineffective assistance of counsel on those matters, he could have discussed it, but he didn't do that.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that when I walked away, Travis, I'll let you know. I'm not sure. It'll depend on how my morning goes. I've been on YouTube for like 7 hours for the past 2 days. So I need to get a couple things done around the house, but it'll more than likely be tomorrow evening for sure, after 6 when Cherie's off work. And my day settles down. Unfortunately, streets, you're in LA, so you'll never be on my time.
And tomorrow's a travel day for me because the site that I'm at is shutting down. We're handing it over to the owners. So I'm going to another site that's like 2.5 hours away, and I have to move my office. And with all my medical equipment and backboards and AEDs, everything, it's going to take like 2 or 3 trips. So I don't even know if I'm going to be off work. It's all through mountains, so I won't have much of a signal.
Well, that's fine, because I mean it'll all be reading. Travis, do you want to come on? Let me know if you want to come on tomorrow, and you can help me and Cherie go through the 41 pages.
Yeah, because I won't be able to read while I'm driving.
She's in Los Angeles, and she's a medic, so that's where
I'm
she's at,
going
Travis.
from Mojave to Lost Hills, which is about it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's about 300 miles, but it's right next to where James Dean died. Ooh. And there's vineyards everywhere, which is amazing.
That's funny. All right, guys. I will let you guys all get to your Sunday night and prepare for your work day tomorrow. Everybody stay safe. Thank you, mods. You guys are great. Thanks, Travis, for being here. I'll let you know about tomorrow. Thank you, guys, for the super chats and the memberships. Until tomorrow, have a good night, guys. Good night.
Night. They are owned by the Gallo brothers.